Hello Geeks, we have a huge announcement and a big favor to ask. November 4th is our Extra Life charity stream. We are going 24 hours straight of gaming and madness. Yes, just us locked in a room. I think we'll survive, but you never know. All the money we can raise from now until November 4th will go towards the BC Children's Hospital Foundation. So please, $1, $5, $10, $50, any amount will help, and all of it will go to a great cause. And plus, if we can hit our goal of $500, Dylan Muss is going to shave his head bald live on air. That's right, if we hit the 500, he's losing all that hair. So please join us for a lot of fun on November 4th. We're going to be streaming Super Mario Kart, Mario Party, GoldenEye. We're going to have a 6-round tournament to determine a new #1 contender for the Geek vs. Gauntlet title with a very special twist. What is that? Tune in to find out. And please, if you cannot donate, like the post, share a post, share the stream. Please tune in November 4th because we want to spread as much awareness as possible, as this is going towards a great cause and anything you can do will help. So we hope to see you November 4th, and until then, see you in the search bar.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to play a game with your ear holes for the final time? I'm the newest member of SawFreaks.com forums, Travis Snail. Oh, I've been creeping around, looking at some good stuff.
I creeped a little bit.
I found my calling finally. I've yet to post, but there's some good theories on there. So I can't remember which we're going to talk about tonight. Some theories possibly, but
very cool.
I'm joined by.
I am the Doctor Dylan Muss.
I'm the fishhook Taylor Field.
Okay.
I'm the pink-blooded Jessica.
That pink blood.
See, honestly, I didn't think it was that pink.
There was a couple scenes where it's pretty
Jill's
bad.
Sure,
is
but
pretty
the
bad.
way Travis said it was like everything of blood in this movie is pink, and I don't know, I was expecting more.
I also
Like this kind of pink is what you were expecting?
Yeah, like quite pink.
Okay.
Sometimes it is though. No blood should be pink at all. It doesn't get a pass sometimes the effects were bad. Anyways, what we are doing, this is the final episode of the Saw Retrospective. We have reviewed every single Saw film from 1 to 6. We are reviewing Saw the final chapter, Saw 7, Saw 3D, all these many titles.
Yes.
Right before Jigsaw comes out, we're also going to be doing some little fun rankings about the series and our favorite characters, the movies, and then we're going to talk about Jigsaw. It's going to be like a mini Jigsaw preview and maybe some predictions to what that is. But before all that happens, we are going to review Saw the final chapter. This ended the series. It's put on the hiatus. It's been gone for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Dylan, this was your first time seeing it. You've also
Sure
been prepped by people considered
You guys,
us.
Yeah, you guys couldn't hold it in, the fact that you all hate this movie a lot.
Well, and you kind of ruined it. What do you think about Gordon? Did you forget about him?
Well, because no, I don't think so. I don't think
You
so.
don't think bringing that up,
When I brought that up, were you like, oh, he has to be in it? Because I still feel like you thought there was a chance.
He's in the first scene, so
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
There's not a lot of time to toy around.
Yeah, it's not like it was a big reveal. And I wanted to ask, because we hadn't even talked about Gordon for a while. I think it was Saw 2, he brought up, I wonder what happened
We
to Gordon.
forgot about him, just like the movies did.
Yeah. So, and just like I'll get that later. But anyways.
I guess we'll start with me.
Mm-hmm. Well, you notoriously, other than Saw 1, had not seen any of these.
It's
so
true.
you're fresh to this. Obviously, you've heard some mumbo-jumbo about this. Maybe not being the greatest.
A lot of mumbo, a little bit of jumbo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this movie, interesting one. I really, really liked Gordon's inclusion, actually. The more I thought about it, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, no, I was not a fan. But within a few hours, I was thinking about it, and I actually quite liked the inclusion. And Hoffman is fucking amazing in this movie.
Yeah.
So I really like those two things, and everything else is really fucking bad. Really bad. This is just a poorly done movie. The acting's bad, the pacing is not good, the story doesn't even really make a whole lot of sense at some moments. The fact that they were just made, a ton of this movie is made just for 3D, and it's pretty obvious. These scenes have no relevance to the story or anything other than the fact that they're in 3D. But I think this movie is bad funny. I had fun watching it, even though the pacing's bad. There were so many things that were just so over the top and just ridiculous that I actually enjoyed watching this movie. Mm-hmm. So even though I can say with 100% certainty that this is a really bad movie, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, there you go.
Did I enjoy it I enjoyed it a certain amount. You'll find out when I give you my overall ranking of all the movies.
Yeah, true. Phil, you're the man that loves almost everything. What do you feel about this movie?
I liked it more than I thought I would. Just the way it started off, just kick-started, like, I don't know, it just had this kind of, like, modern-day horror movie kind of feel to it. That first trap, and then from then on, it just kind of... I didn't see anything bad, really, about it. I thought it was interesting how, you know, you got the survivor who's pretending to be, you know, and I thought it was cool.
Pretend to be.
And he gets called out on his shit. Yeah, you know, it could have done things worse, but at the end of the day, it was a solid 7th film in a series, I guess, so.
Okay.
I don't know. This, Force Awakens, I don't know. I feel like I've seen better 7 movies, you know.
Well, what was
Jason.
the break between Force Awakens and Star Wars 3? In years, what?
Like-
Was it 7 years?
It was, no, I guess not. So.
Okay.
No. I answered your question.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going with that, but
No, I'm good. We'll get into it after.
Okay.
Jessica.
So, for those of you watching and listening that aren't part of our group chat, half the DVD, maybe a third of the DVD, did not play. Not really sure what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like, there would be a scene, and then there would be no talking or anything. It would skip to another scene, and there was no
The
talking.
movie was pretty bad. You might have just been watching the actual thing.
Possible. So, honestly, I'm not 100% sure what goes on in the last, like, third of the movie.
Oh,
So, I'm just kind of...
you're missing all the good
I'm gonna
stuff.
piece it together as we go.
There's not that much good
Is this
stuff.
Travis's DVD?
It is.
It was,
Did you
yeah.
like scratch it or rage it?
That's
This
what I
movie's
did.
so
Once I saw it
bad.
again, I don't actually know why I own it. I own it for a few key scenes, but really, I wish I would have returned it because I've never watched this movie other than a few times.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even worth it for me to like go on the box and stream the movie again. After that, I was like, well, you know, I'll figure it out. It's
Yeah.
good enough.
Were all the Hoffman scenes intact, though?
No.
Oh.
You can watch those on YouTube.
I did watch those again on YouTube too.
Yeah.
All Hoffman scenes.
The whole movie saw franchise, but just Hoffman.
I didn't do that. I just watched like from this movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I made him my cover photo on Facebook right now.
Oh,
Because
really?
I
I
remember
saw
how
that.
much I love this
I
man. You
didn't
know, he
notice
can
that.
do no wrong.
Well,
Do you think we'll ask about him in the next one? I guess we think he'll be back. The question everyone's dying to know.
I think that question's gonna be a big fat no.
Whoa. Shooting it down. Okay, so anyway, this movie, you know, did it tie everything up in a way that everyone wanted it to? No. But did it tie it up in a way that everyone's happy? Also no. It's there, they ended it, the guy obviously didn't give 2 shits.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe I missed some important notes in that last little bit, but Taylor, no.
I don't understand. You're saying no, but you like seem like you
I like it, but from an unbiased point perspective, I can see exactly what you mean.
exactly.
I don't know, I mean, I guess they left enough stuff open that they were able to tie it together in a way that worked, but I think they just didn't spend enough time to actually go into the depth that the ending needed to make it more satisfying. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think there's a couple key problems with this movie, but we'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
Couple.
we'll get to those.
Yeah, I've said this since the beginning. I said there was one movie in the series I consider one of the worst horror movies of all time, and this is 100% it. This has, like, a few nuggets and, like, gold nuggets and, like, this sewage of manure and vomit and turds and just blood, and this movie is...
And blood, pink blood.
Pink blood. This movie is beyond awful, and this movie, I hate that if anyone's seen it, and if they've just seen this one, not the other ones, man, they must think the entire Saw series is awful, because there's so much... This movie is the final chapter. They knew going in, at one point I guess they had planned there to be a 7 and an 8, but 6 didn't do that well at the box office, so they just crammed it all into one. I think you can definitely feel that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's the final chapter. We spend most of our time with characters we've never ever met before, and we don't really care about. And I just feel like they bungle everything from... Literally, the best scenes in this movie happen all like in one, 2, 3. One, the opening with Gordon is still good. The middle, Hoffman has a badass moment, and you know Jill gets taken. We'll talk about that, but that's good. And then the ending with Hoffman and Gordon, and Gordon's reveal of like, oh, this all makes sense. They show like, oh, he did this stuff with the guy's eyes. He sewed him up. He put the eye in the key. He not framed Lynn, but set Lynn up and said, oh, you should go after her. So, like, all the stuff made sense, and these 3 key scenes I talk about, like, felt like they actually had some care to them. The rest of the movie doesn't have any of that. Dylan already pointed out, the acting's terrible. The detective in this movie, I can't get to him. He is garbage. I'm
really
sorry, I don't want to get to, like, Suicide Squad Jared Leto hate, but this guy, he makes me cringe every time I watch his scenes. He's so bad, and, like, he's our, like, he's our lead point 2, or, like, our lead B in this, because the other one's the victim guy, right? I liked the idea of the book guy, like, of the liar.
Idea is good.
Yeah, the idea is good. The traps are really lame in this movie. I legitimately, until we got to the first trap, I actually forgot, like, most of the traps in this movie. I've seen this movie about 5 times, unfortunately. And I've, like...
And there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
More than any other.
They're bad for me because they're kind of lazy. There's a few alright, but they're kind of lazy. In the 3D, you can tell it's 3D. It takes me out of every time. And then the actual idea of, back to the lying and the whole survival group. This is why I was bringing up when you talked about last episode when you're like, oh, the people from Saw 5 died. You could have had them alive to be in this survivor circle scene. Because
the junkie's there, right?
What? I guess.
He
is that him?
It looks exactly like him.
I'll look it up in a second.
And his arm's in, like, a bandage.
It must be, because, he, like, died. They said he died, remember?
They said he died.
But, like, my problem is with that scene, like, we talked about, like, oh, there's Daniel, Eric Matthews' son.
Did you not see this part?
No, I have no idea what we're talking
The
about.
Survivors group? This is at the very beginning of the movie. It's, like, 20 minutes in. The guy who is, like, the main guy who's been lying the whole time.
Oh, is this where, like, Gordon's revealed? That part?
Well,
where
the
he, like,
second...
walks out and he's like...
Yeah.
It is that.
Yeah,
and that's all.
So you know how that in that circle, it's like a bunch of people who survived the traps, and in there is like the girl who lost her arm in the last movie, and the junkie from Saw 5. Remember the junkie and Rita were like the last 2 survivors, or like it was ambiguous whether or not they lived.
Yeah.
But then in Saw 6, they say that those people died, but then the junkie is in that circle with people. I swear he is.
I'm confirming.
I don't actually know if
I'm
he
gonna
is,
confirm.
But it
did look like
he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So
no,
you can't tell from that.
Around,
But it looked exactly like him, and his arm was in like a bandage. I think.
Yeah, so I will confirm, say, I'll just finish off my final statements. Other than those 2, they show us all these people who we don't know. I don't count those guys from the first trap of the movie. We just met them. There's some girls from stupid fan trap, which is lame. Like, there's characters that they could have brought back, and I just felt like this really, really felt cheap, and it felt like, hey, we're not going to pay the guy that played Daniel to come back for just a quick scene. And that scene should have been more, even if that is a junkie, it shouldn't just been him looking around. Like, they should have talked to them. Like, this could have been... All the good things in this movie, they don't explore, and they choose to explore the really bad stuff. And the main thing, we'll get to Gordon, but I feel like, I'm not getting into specifics, but for waiting for almost a decade to see okay, that's overshooting. 7 years to see what this character has gone through, where he's been, I don't think he's used well. I think the idea of him as this apprentice or disciple is good, but there's so much more we could have got into. Like, I told you what happened to his family, why did he not go back for Adam, like, his process of, like, becoming Jigsaw, or, like, whatever, helping Jigsaw, his whole life, and it's just
there's so many questions.
It's exactly what I said. Like, the answer could be good, but they didn't spend enough time to actually give it to you.
Yeah, and it's lame because he's him and Hoffman, and that's my thing with Gordon. We've been waiting so long to see him barely, and Hoffman was like the lead of the past 2 films, and again I don't know why, but he's barely in this movie. It's weird. Like, he's hanging out in the morgue for so long. Like, I don't understand the choices that were made in here, and I have lots of other complaints for separate things, but we'll get into. Overall, I think this movie has a few good moments, and I said this to Dylan last night. I YouTube these scenes because the ending scene is great with Gordon and everything like that and stuff, but it's just, like Jessica was saying, how it's presented, how we get there is great, but the process of getting there, not so good. It's kind of like if you're at the dinner with Hannibal, you're like, the dinner's delicious. You don't know that he made it with people, but if you found that out, that would ruin your meal, and that's what I feel like this movie is.
Unless you're into that kind.
The meals, yeah, if you are, let us know in the comments. The meal's good, but the preparation and what he used for it, not so good.
And I mean, to go farther into that, you could do, like, each movie is a separate course,
Yeah.
Some courses are pretty good, like, episode 1, the appetizers, but then you kind of make your way down, and he starts using different parts of the human, and then you get to the course filled with assholes, and that's 7.
Right. That's 7. Course filled with assholes.
That's a good analogy.
Yikes. I don't even know the guy's fucking name, and I've been
The
watching
cop?
No, the junkie, and
Junkie?
trying to find
You
it
should
out.
go the other way. Look at him in
Saw
that
6.
movie and see if he's also in this movie.
The problem is they list for Saw 5, like the Saw Wiki, they list like Donnie Wahlberg or Eric Matthews. They just list anybody that's in any of these movies, like, and even if it's like in a fucking photo, they're like, yeah, Donnie Wahlberg was in this, but yeah. So where did we want to start? Because I think there's a lot to get into with this. At the same time, there's almost barely any, but it's a scattered movie.
It really is. I think for me, what I just wanted to bring up is that, like, it's kind of agreeing with what you guys were saying, but yeah, like the fact that they used like all new characters, I don't know, it's just like such a weird choice, right?
Yeah.
Like for the finale, for like I guess tying up the whole story, even though obviously there's more now, or there's gonna be in the next couple weeks, but I don't know,
7 years later.
it's such a weird choice, and it's disappointing because like all the acting for all of that is really bad, and like you said, the traps are pretty shitty. I really like one of them, but the rest of them are just really boring. And like it's not very suspenseful. Like even in like the other Saw movies, even if they're not great movies, some of them, like I feel like the tension and there's always like suspense for the people going through all these traps. And this one just did not have that at all.
No, I think it has a lot of dumb things like the Fisher girl. Like
Right.
the amount of time she screams is kind of ridiculous, and it's just like
It makes no sense.
no, it's like you're gonna die. Like you're not like it's just
It's like a lazy writing
yeah.
standpoint, right? Because they could have killed her in any ways if they wanted to, but instead they just made her scream for no reason whatsoever.
Well, because my thing is like he's talking and she's not even really screaming on, and then like the tape happens, and then right when he's like, "Don't scream, don't make sounds, or it's gonna kill you," and then the tape ends and she's like, "Ah!" Like it's like why you're not? He hasn't even pulled the fish.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense from like you're watching this movie and you just don't understand like what's on the screen.
So
And the other big problem is, like, I don't understand why they decided to kill off all the cops and investigators from the previous movies, because Gibson sucks. And even if you put someone like what if that was Carrie, or what if that was Riggs? Riggs wasn't great in Saw 4, but
at least he has a tie.
at least he makes, like, why not use these characters? Like, I still don't understand why they killed all of them.
Well, especially because with Gibson, they do this weird, like, try to make a backstory between him and Hoffman, because, like, for people that, if you didn't watch this, like, Gibson's after Hoffman, he's Jigsaw, and for you too, Jessica, in case you haven't, if you missed this scene, so he's, like, talking about, like, oh, always knew Hoffman was, like, a bad cookie, even though that contradicts everything everyone else has said, like, oh, he seemed like a kind of a stand-up guy, but he's just, like, so he got in some scuffle, Gibson got in some scuffle with a criminal, Hoffman just came from behind, like, executed the criminal, and then Hoffman was like, next time, be a little quicker or something like some classic Hoffman line.
Yeah.
But like they try and force his backstory, and he's like, I reported Hoffman and nothing came of it, and they dumped me to a different department or something. And it's just like that could have been rigged.
Exactly. It's like I don't give a fuck about this guy.
I know that was 4 movies later, but they've had a bunch of other people secretly dead. Like look at Perez, look at Matthew. You could have found this series has found so many hamstring ways to bring people back. You could have found a way. Oh, Riggs has been in hiding. I don't know, but like even then, I don't think they needed to do. I don't know how it could have been done, but I wish they would have somehow just looked at this, went, oh, this is not a good idea, and just focused it on like even though I don't like her, a Hoffman versus Jill versus like Gordon scenario. I feel like it should have been revealed. The only reason Gordon didn't get revealed till the end is because they just wanted a big twist, and that's the thing where I hurt the movie, because it would have been good the whole time knowing Gordon was that guy and he's trying to maybe help Jill out as John's last wish, but when he's just like, oh yeah, if something happens to Jill, like you got to do this, and it's just like it doesn't really seem like Gordon's that involved. It just seems like, okay, because I got this tape. If Jill dies, I guess I'll go help. But he seems so excluded out of it. And this thing, like when you brought a couple casts with Hoffman, you're like, oh, did him and Amanda know each other and whatnot? That's the thing with Gordon. We have all these questions. At least with Hoffman, you're like, oh, there's a couple movies coming, so I know I can get explained. With Gordon, there's no movies coming. Like, we can talk about it. I don't think Gordon's gonna be the killer in Jigsaw. I really don't. I said this to Dylan last night. I feel like these last 3 movies or 4 are gonna be treated like the Star Wars prequels and kind of be ignored because they're the ones that were like people like turned like they declined as far as success and critical, except for 6. And then people kind of like, oh, the Saw movies, they keep coming out every year. And I think it'll be the same way. Like, people don't talk about midichlorians. They don't talk about Anakin. I don't think they're going to talk about Hoffman, which I hate. That I don't think Gordon, like, I think Jigsaw's going to be a completely new thing. So that's why I could be surprised with Gordon if this is our only movie that's revealed that he's been really since Saw 2 a part of this whole thing. Mm-hmm. It's really disappointing because they could use this whole movie to get into that. Like, look at Saw 2, what they did with Eric Matthews and Jigsaw. Like, they could have done something with that. Like, this movie should have been Gordon v. Hoffman. And
Well, that's why I like the inclusion of Gordon because
Yeah.
it's like the most interesting part of this movie, really, other than Hoffman. But I as well really wish this whole movie was like have Gordon in it like the whole time, and he was actually a bigger part of it because there is so many questions, and
especially he's been
some
gone
of
for
them
so long.
some of them are fun to think about, and it's fun to think back to all the movies and think about, okay, like what was Gordon's involvement,
Yeah.
and like who are his two accomplice people that are working with him.
Everyone.
Did they know who Jigsaw is? Like, there's so many questions, and they're fun to think about, but this movie also had an hour and a half that they could have answered those had they chose to drop some stupid storyline with some guy who was faking that he was in a
Yeah.
Chris Angel
And
like
some-
nipple trap.
And some cop talking to Jill for like the 100th time. Like how many movies do we have to have where the cop has to like interrogate Jill and be like, oh, well, we'll work together, or I'm gonna get your husband, like, or I'm gonna get Jigsaw. It's just like that was another thing. Like I was happy what happened to Jill, but right away it's just like the way the movie picks out. Like Hoffman gets out of the trap, he goes after her, and she just goes to a police station. Like I need immunity, I need
Doesn't
this.
she go to like the FBI though? Isn't that the thing?
No, she goes to the cop station this time, I think, because she feels like she can't trust some people in the FBI. I don't know, because they are just detectives, these guys.
Yeah, I thought the detectives originally it's been the police force up until now. And I thought she went to the FBI, and I thought that was the difference of why they had some new person. I could be wrong.
I don't
but
think so, because the interview she had was Hoffman was her first interview in the timeline, and then Strom and like Erickson take over. So I think she went to the FBI because maybe like most of the ones that were in town were dead because of Hoffman. I don't know. That's the other thing you asked and last saw like, oh, does everyone actually know? When they are talking about Jigsaw on the news, they never once say like, oh, Detective Mark Hoffman is like the Jigsaw killer. So this is the thing, like, even with Hoffman, who I love, you don't 100% fully understand why he's going ham, because they never once say like, oh, we're looking for Hoffman. Like, it's even when Jill tells Gibson,
Right,
like,
you kind of assume that.
yeah, when Jill tells Gibson, he's like, oh, I knew something was up with him, but it's like, but he didn't know, he just like assumed. So it's the thing of like, same thing, like, did we just forget 6? Like, do they know it's Hoffman? Do we not? Because if they don't, like, Hoffman is fine. Like, he's gonna have to explain why he has this gash on his face, but like, that was the thing, like, the movie feels so messy, I don't understand.
I mean, yeah, because they could have even had a scene where Gibson talks about when Perez and Erickson or whatever the hell.
We found the murder.
Yeah,
I think it's Hoffman.
Yeah,
Jill would have been like, I just had a
I mean, there's probably cameras in that movie. They could have just said, like, we saw you do that. And then, boom, like, you solved that conundrum of a pothole.
I would kill for footage of just Hoffman, like, throwing gasoline on the camera, like, trying to burn the camera and, like, not working.
So apparently the reason she went to him is because he's internal affairs.
Oh, so cops didn't work, FBI didn't work, internal affairs, there we go. Like, they're gonna take down this, like, mass murder guy who's been taking out the FBI, but...
Another thing with Gibson that I found confusing story-wise was when... So Hoffman has like sends him a couple of like, those videos, and they're kind of like
from like the basement.
Yeah, one of them is kind of like a riddle, and it's like go to the crossroads and then go.
You'll see the lights.
You'll see the light.
Yeah, whatever he says.
It really confused me because obviously that moment when Gibson was there and that homeless guy like jumped him and almost killed him, and then Hoffman killed that guy. Like obviously that's a very memorable thing. So I don't understand why he had to go to the crossroads in order to figure out that riddle. Like I feel like it was clear enough that when he said crossroads, he knew instantly where to go, but he couldn't put 2 and 2 together. And like I don't like because when he went there and then he just immediately left after figuring out the riddle, I was like, wait, why did he even come here? Like I don't understand that as like a story, like an event. Like why did that take place?
Well, and that's my
you could say it's like it jumped his memory, but that's not necessary at all.
Think you'd remember someone getting shot in front of you 3 times?
Well, that and the blood
because he did. Like it's not like he had like amnesia for it or something. Like it's very clearly that he's conscious of it. So I just didn't, from like a story standpoint, I don't understand why he went there.
Well, that's why that and the other stuff I hate, because I sometimes feel like the movie feels like a parody of a Saw. Like this feels like someone went out to make a joke version of Saw.
Like there's so many things that support that too.
Yeah, and like that's why I always take this theory of like the guy who directed it did 6 and he wanted to do Paranormal Activity and they didn't let him. That's why I just feel like it's like, fuck this. Like I don't know, like I hope not. But the other thing is like with that, so Hoffman's sending him these tapes and these riddles and these clues. Why are you just following along with it? Like they fall into the location. There's a door of just kind of like, I don't know what the door says, but it pretty much just is like, don't go in here. So like, let's go in here. And they literally they're just like, Hoffman, we got you. And it's just he has that dead body of the doll, and it's just lying there. It's like, Hoffman, put up your hands. Like,
Okay, you think he's just gonna be sitting in this chair waiting for you,
Yeah.
and then when that turret pops up, yes, it's cool.
I fucking love that turret, dude. That is the most over-the-top, completely stupid thing. And honestly, I think in the entire series.
But
I love that.
agree.
And then like his
The
acting
way
when he
Gibson's
gets
like,
shot.
"Ooh," like he looks
It's
like
like slow mo. He's like, ooh, he does like weird things with his mouth.
he looks like he's in a comedy when they like show a boxing match, and they're like, "Ooh," like that's what he's.
And
he's
then
like,
it goes to the
"Ooh."
second guy, and he's still getting shot.
It
And then they
was-
go back to Gibson, he's like getting shot more.
It was so bad. It was.
I
comical.
loved it, man.
It
I
was,
loved
yeah,
it.
it's good bad, but if you're trying to think of like just from a serious aspect,
Yeah.
it's so bad. The acting, the whole setup of just
Oh,
like
yeah.
they literally
You're
like.
right, you're right.
There's times where it's like in the movies it's been like, oh, these like we talked about with the voice scrambling, like, oh, these guys are smart, but Hoffman was smarter. This just feels like he's like playing against children in this movie. Like they're just doing anything he says. Like the thing,
Yeah.
and like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just like it's so frustrating. Like at least give him a challenge. Like it's just like, and that's what I mean. So if I would end up liking Gibson, okay, fine, but because these cops and these characters suck, it's like we spent so much time with them, and then they just get gunned down, and that's it, and we just move along. And it's like, what was the? There's no point to it. It was literally just filling time. There's no
Yeah.
confrontation. There's
And
no
then that
point.
makes you question, like, okay, why was Gibson even a character? Like,
Oh, no.
like, what, like,
I don't know.
I understand with like the events that happen in this movie why he's there, but like it's like they didn't even want that character
No.
to exist. So
They could've done
why
this-
why not do something more creative? Or
You could take
bring back another character,
Yeah.
or just make it like you said, the Hoffman, Jill, and
Make
Gordon.
make
Yeah.
Jill go.
Put
to
Gordon in the movie
Yeah,
for
make
more than
Jill
5
go to
minutes.
Gordon. Yeah.
Or the thing is, all that stuff Hoffman pulled off with like the sneaking with the body and like killing all the cops and everything, you could take Gibson out and that still happens. Like
Yeah,
he like Hoffman, I love the thing where he sets up a bomb, he explodes it, so he like scurries, puts himself in the body bag, and like what was once again that's a lot of time that he had.
dude,
but
Hoffman's a fucking genius.
he's quick. But anyways, him getting in there and then getting to the thing, you could have all done that without Gibson. Like none of that he's not needed for any of it, and it doesn't help that. I've never seen him in anything else, but he's so bad the whole movie. I have lines here down. He's like trying to be comedic in this movie, and it's just like, oh, it's so gross. Ah,
Gross.
God,
Yeah.
yeah. Taylor, what do you think? You have said anything at all?
Before we talk
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Taylor,
yeah, yeah.
Before Taylor talks.
it is the drug guy.
He
Malik,
is-
yeah. It is. Malik was his name. But
Malico?
No, Malik.
No, I like Malico better. He's called Malico.
Yeah, he's there in a sling, which I'm trying to put the timeline.
You know what? Sorry?
A sling?
Oh, I thought you said something drastically different than that.
I guess he could probably still be in a sling. It's probably still taking a while to hear. We
Well,
just
I
don't
mean,
know how
his
much
entire
time.
hand was split.
Well,
in
I was
half.
trying to think about. I always think about the movies because it's 2 years. I'm like 2 years, he wouldn't be in the sling. I'm like, oh, I guess the movie. It's probably like only been a few months. So granted, but yeah. So that contradicts. I said everyone saw 5 dies, and he's sitting right there. You know. So, but that's okay.
Not Barita isn't, that's for sure.
No,
so she died.
No, I just think they didn't want to pay her to come back for
Probably.
that. But Malik's
And she
like,
was
I'm
probably
She
in
was in
Dexter
Dexter
by
at that
then.
yeah.
Okay, Taylor can talk.
Yeah, because you once again you're very positive. What do you talk about Gibson? I want to hear your thoughts on Gibson. He might seem like some guy you might like for some reason.
Gibson, that and you said that was the FBI agent. 'Cause I'm trying to
The
look
internal
at the name.
affairs.
Internal
I feel like
Affairs.
that would be you in the Saw movie, like the guy who
Wow.
thinks he has it figured out. But yeah, oh.
That's definitely
like him.
that's how you would act if you
yeah, if he got shot.
You know, well, no one wants to get like gunned down by a turret.
Well, no.
some people do.
Some people do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's not. Well, he's not my favorite of the police officers that have been dealing with Jigsaw.
I would hope not. I would hope he's not in your top 5.
No, he definitely
Out of
not.
6.
Yeah, top 6 maybe. No. I don't know. He's just. I don't really have much to really go off of. I mean, why like Jill did that and went with him, or went to like the internal affairs? Like I don't know. I feel like what you said, like going to Gordon. I think that's a much better approach, and that makes perfect sense, especially because that was kind of what Gordon was kind of ordered to do. You know, if anything happens, you can act on my behalf.
Right.
So it's kind of not ironic, but just defeats itself, I guess, at the end. Like the whole purpose and reason behind that.
We don't even know, I guess, if Jill even knows Gordon.
That's true. We don't, but I
No,
just
with him, we never
assumed
seen
that
them
they
like
would.
meet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
does she know he's involved even? I guess she doesn't.
Who
even-
knows what she knows?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, she
I
knows
think
nothing now.
nothing,
She's
yeah.
dead.
Oh.
She sure is. She died twice. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, you enjoyed watching him the second time.
Both times. Both times. Anything else?
No, that's it. For,
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then let's talk about Bobby Dagen, because we'll talk
Bobby
about the main
Dagen.
cast more in a second here. But
Fucking Bobby Dagen.
yeah, so
Could you instantly tell that he was bullshit, or did you actually have to wait to find out?
I don't think I realized it right off the start.
No?
No.
I feel like just the awkward first interview, I was like, oh, this guy's fucking shitting.
I just thought he was an awful actor.
Oh, okay.
he's not a
Like-
bad actor.
Like, what was that line that I put?
I
Oh, yeah.
screamed. I
I-
just screamed.
Yeah, like oh my god, because he says that like 3 times in a row. He's like describing being in the trap. He's like, I just screamed. Like, yeah, like he's not reading it with any sort of emotion, or he's not even like acting. He's just like reciting the lines. It's like he's at the table read for like the first time going through.
He
or something.
was. They just filmed it like we
Honestly,
got
like-
that's the budget of this movie.
I wouldn't be surprised. So I think that's probably maybe why I didn't. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe he was trying to do that on purpose, so that it was supposed to be like, oh yeah, my character didn't actually go through that, so I don't know what it's like.
I don't.
But
think you
I don't think so either. But that's kind of why I guess I didn't pick up on it, is because I just thought this guy's a terrible actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else to add on him?
On Bobby Dagen?
Yeah.
Well, he has quite a long story. I feel like there's many things to say about him.
Yeah. I can't remember if I knew it was a fake trap or not. Like I said, I like the idea because it's something very simple. It's something that someone could easily make up in real life. It's just, I think, again, we've talked about it before. I don't want to retread, but it's just like, I don't know if it needed to be in this movie. They try to
No.
hamstring it to time with John Kramer, who is this is probably the least. I think this is the least he's ever been in any of the movies, because he literally only
I love
has.
his outfit. Just
When he
throwing
has
it out there.
the baseball cap backwards, and he's like, "You're a
Big
sign."
sweatpants. And
Yeah. Like, that scene's good, because Tone Bell, he's just always good. You know, if there's anything, I'm still excited. Even if Jigsaw is awful, like this movie coming up, seems like we're going to get to see Tone Bell in some sort of flashback, and it's always a good time to see him. So that's
Been a while.
exciting. Yeah, it's been a while. And
For
this-
you
it's a
guys.
good minute.
yeah, it's been a good minute. So
I think the thing with the reason why Bobby Dagen's like story throughout this movie feels kind of boring is because like it was kind of the same thing as Saw 3 and Saw 6, where he just like has going through all these
Yeah.
trials and he's like
It's
trying to
almost
save
like
these people.
Every Saw since the second one.
well, Saw 4, yeah, Riggs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always
Yeah,
forget
Saw
about
5
that.
is
I
different.
honestly like. I feel like 4 is very forgettable for me. Like I honestly, like I don't really remember a whole lot from that movie, and
Yeah.
I watched it like in the last month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a similar formula, and they did try to fall in that, and I think
it was done well in 6, like
Yeah,
for the
very
most
well.
part, right?
Well, I think
So-
because because they never. I don't feel like with William you saw his growth. With this, I never really felt like he was that sorry until maybe like his wife died. But at that point, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
well, are you sorry? Or are you like I don't even that like I don't think that's an actor's
And
fault. I honestly don't. I think it's writing because they don't. He doesn't get any moments with those people that are in the traps. They just die suddenly, and
it's really like it's definitely poorly done. Like is the first trap the one with the girl and like the screen, like the
yeah, the
screen?
fish hook.
Is
Yeah,
that's the first one.
yeah.
Yeah, and like that one. Honestly, like the only connection you have with these characters is that they say that's his publicist, that's
A
his
quick
lawyer,
scene too.
and then
but
I guess you do get a couple like flashback scenes with his best friend,
yeah.
who looks like a discount Ryan Gosling, if you ask me.
Well, Ryan Gosling was up for the role, but they turned it down.
He really missed out on that one. And you do get a couple scenes with his wife, but honestly, you get more with like his best friend character than his wife, I feel like.
Yeah.
So there's really not a lot of chemistry between those characters because there was no like room for that apparently.
No.
So yeah, like the first two girls, like his lawyer and his publicist, I think they are, because like the other trap where he has to like lift up that
Oh,
that
such
weight-
a stupid trap.
yeah, that trap, like it's just filmed poorly. Like there's no
Oh,
suspense the whole
no.
time, and you know she's gonna die,
Yeah.
and it's not even that cool of a trap.
Well, the thing is, we just had a trap. The trap beforehand is, hey, if you scream, you get impaled by these big metal rods. Hey, if he doesn't hold this brick thing up, you get impaled by metal rods. Like they should have spaced them
Yeah.
out. Like they're the exact
and they
same
look
trap.
like the same metal rods.
yeah.
Like Hoffman like quickly went in like
He got a discount. He just cut them in half and like put it like that's the thing. Like
2 for 1.
And, like, I always forget about the lawyer trap because it's so lame. Like, this whole thing of, like, yeah, he just has to pretty much just work out. And the bad thing is, like, okay, so he does it at one point, he stops it, and he gets hurt, and he keeps doing it, he keeps getting hurt. But at one point, there's like they flash, and it's like there's 3 seconds left, and he's like, oh, I can't do it. And it's just like, oh my god, like the whole time he seems like,
diva.
oh yeah, like I'm sorry, I think I've joked about this before, but like I would take Jeff over this guy just because like every trap he does it, and he's like, oh my god, I can't do it, and he just gives up. It's like, you had 3 seconds left, and even then, yes, I'm sure I've never been impaled by anything, so I don't know, but like, usually adrenaline will take over. This is a friend of yours, I think, and even then, we've seen traps much worse. It's 60 seconds at the most, and you don't even have to hold for the 60 seconds.
No.
He did the perfect amount where stop it every once in a while, and then at the very end, okay, stop it. He did that, like, no, 3 seconds, I can't do it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And like,
even the first trap with like the girl getting impaled, like obviously she was like just screaming the whole time. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I found it really funny when he finally pulls it out, and then like there's like a piece of her meat like on the hook, and it just smacks her in the face a little bit. And then he fumbles with the key for like 20 seconds.
Well, yeah, he pulls at Jeff pretty much. But then like the thing is like they're not good with keys. But like the thing is he does that, but then he steps back, so he literally just leaves this thing on her face.
I know.
Just an insult to injury. Like he's the worst, and like even the whole thing about with his friend in that whatever trap, I feel like he's terrible at giving directions and just like, yeah, on 3, I'm gonna throw this. He had one good tip of like put it against your chest, but like the whole thing, and like I don't know, it's just I'll give him the pectoral trap because you know what, he kind of pulled it off, but he still lost. Like
we should break up the traps so that way other people can talk.
I guess so. Yeah, go ahead.
But it's just, you gotta like, jump in.
Yeah, you know what? I try and jump in.
I'm fired up on Bobby.
I just want to add in on trap.
Fuck Bobby.
On trap 2, when you talking about the one that he has to lift. My favorite thing is that he doesn't even try and like move out of the way, like to twist his body or anything. He's like, I'm just gonna stand here.
That would have been a good idea. Yeah.
And he also doesn't line up to go back into the same spot.
No, so you have multiple spots.
Yeah.
It's the William thing. I'm like,
that didn't seem to affect him for the rest of the time.
No.
Unfortunately for him, I guess.
No.
So, I mean, yeah, he's got like 3 different stab holes. Like, why wouldn't you at least try and like, if you don't move out of the way, at least try and like get it in the same spot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like the hand thing. It's like the hand thing. Like, oh, I'll just move my hand this way and get different stab holes in my hand.
Yeah, never understood it when they're like, yeah, I'm gonna stab myself in different places, but you do you.
You do you.
Tay, you got any thoughts on? You haven't talked about Bobby Dagen at all.
Oh, Bobby.
Oh, Bobby.
I don't know.
Bobby Boucher and your foosball.
If I was a dude and, you know, I was just out there.
Where's this going? It's like my Michael Fassbender conversations.
I'm not in that sense.
If I was a dude,
I'm 100% man.
I'd be tearing Bobby up.
110% man, okay?
That has nothing to do with anything.
I meant if I was a dude. I am a dude. I meant if I was just a dude like Bobby. That's what I was going for.
Okay. You made it sound like only straight people are 110% male. Between that and veterans and whoever else, the past 2 weeks, you keep misspeaking. I swear to God. They're going to take you out of context one time.
I know.
And then you're done.
But yeah, so, you know, if I was like a simpleton like Bobby out there, you know.
If you were a simpleton.
If I were a simpleton, the last thing I would do is, like, you know, I'm a Jigsaw survivor. Why would you even mess around with something like that?
Because he wanted to get rich and famous.
You know, I want to get rich and famous too, but I'm not going to say, like, oh, I'm a survivor of...
Tomorrow go and say you're Charles Manson survivor.
No.
Well, that would be impossible because of the time.
Yeah, but there could be like copycat killers or something.
The classic. The classic case that does that actually pause? Have we seen that happen in real life though?
What's that?
Like a copycat killer, other than maybe like Zodiac because they didn't catch him. I feel like in the movies that's.
Oh, are we talking about like movies or like?
No, in real life. Like, I feel like in movies it's super popular, but it's very actually rare in real life to have like a
if one ever tried Saw, they'd give up after 10 minutes because they realized how much fucking engineering skill you need to make any of these traps, and I don't know, there's a lot that goes into it.
Maybe not
Jigsaw works hard.
The face knife one. That one seemed pretty simple.
Maybe we'll come back to that when we talk about Jigsaw.
They're actually, like, I'll throw this one out because it's one I know. The Highway of Tears.
Yeah,
there's definitely like more than one person has already been.
What is that?
It's a strip of just straight highway up near Williams Lake.
I think so, yeah.
Lake.
There's a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, and like tons and tons of women have gone missing along the strip, mostly indigenous women.
Oh, I see.
So my aunt got taken on it. It's a big thing, like a whole bunch. Someone from my mom's like high school. Like there's tons of people have been taken on it.
Where's Williams Lake?
like 7 hours towards the cold area of BC.
Really?
Towards the cold.
How long
Yeah,
is
it's not
it?
all cold.
How much time is on the highway, like when you're driving in a straight stretch?
The Highway of Tears.
Enough of these
I've
specific
never-
questions.
That's it.
This is freaky stuff.
Tell
I
me
know
more about
this.
Bobby Dagen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, I wouldn't definitely.
720 kilometers.
Jesus.
There you go, Taylor.
Is that specific enough for you?
It's very specific.
Between Prince George and Prince Rupert.
Between Prince George and Prince.
All right, back on track.
From
Let's do it.
1969 until 2011.
2011. So we have like 6 years of it being like safe.
All right, so the third trap
Anyway,
is the best friend. Are you gonna go now?
estimated
The third
at 40
trap with the
women.
hang, right?
40 women?
With the hanger, yeah.
The hanger.
Go.
I made a point actually. Like this is actually where I put this. Yes, the key thrown part was hilarious. I wrote that in my notes. I feel so bad for Kale was his name.
You feel bad for him?
I feel
Yeah,
bad
I'm
for
glad
him.
you knew his
I
name.
mean,
He
Kale,
also was a liar, though, so why would you feel bad for him?
you know, because it was totally out of his control. I give him credit. He managed to get through 2 of those planks blindfolded and not knowing what was going on.
Okay, but why wouldn't you crawl?
Yeah.
Well, Kale was kind of crawling. I don't know. He kind of just.
Can he like
flipped
go
to the
that
side.
low?
Yeah, because remember he fell off the bar and he had to like pull
Oh, right.
himself back up?
Yeah, but
So-
you know,
Another
Yeah.
flaw in Hoffman's.
he pulled himself
Well, technically,
up, so
these are
that's
still
good.
Jigsaw's traps. If people don't know, these are still technically it's just Hoffman executing them for Jigsaw. So Jigsaw still is planning this far ahead. Like Jigsaw on the tapes, he's just recorded them all. So like
Yeah.
technically, Hoffman's not making these traps.
Except for the one for Strom.
Yeah, I think the strong one, which he just made to execute him, and
Yeah.
so.
Well, the voice is obviously different.
Well, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Just when he threw that key, it just made me laugh. Like I would have, like
Just
I would
bounces
have,
off his
I would
chest.
have put my shirt out like this, or
I
just
don't
to
know if
make.
that would have helped either.
Well, it's better than like this,
I guess
because like this is a
true.
little bit of space
It
and
did
then
work.
it bounces.
So,
if you
yeah.
use the shirt, at least it'll just kind of land like a feather landing, you know.
Well, I think
I don't think
the
it's
problem
gonna
is
take
he has a really buoyant chest. It bounced right off.
Very buoyant chest.
Buoyant, you know.
Isn't buoyancy for like floating?
I don't know, like the key
He-
floated
why
right
can't
off.
he have a floating
The
chest?
key floated right off. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, that trap is all right. I think it's cool for a little bit, but
It reminds me of a scene out of Home Alone.
kind of yeah. It's
In the Lost in New York, the second one.
that trap for me. It's just always screamed out that they spend a lot of budget on the rest of the movie and they had nothing. It's very much like the glass ceiling trap. It's just like we have boards in a room and it's gonna be like how he's blindfolded. Like doesn't really feel like there's much thought put into it, and it's all right. Like I don't know. It's just.
The very first trap. Do you feel like that was one that Jigsaw planned and Hoffman was just executing? or
No,
was
I
that
think
just
that's a
Hoffman?
Hoffman one. I feel like he's trying to like, even though they don't really talk about that, I feel like it was to get stuff off. I don't actually know the time frame of that trap really though. That doesn't really. So my idea is
You're
that
talking about like the one with the 2 guys and the
Yeah.
girlfriend? Yeah.
well, I say they jump to that trap all of a sudden. I don't know, but we're heading there apparently because we're just
Sure.
talking about all the traps.
We'll go there.
I guess the only way is because it starts with them, like, there's a cover over this glass box, right? One, I don't know why the police have not checked on this box at all, but let's just say it's Groundhog Day, and they're having a good time. So, the only way is, I guess, before Hoffman got put in the bear trap, maybe he had that set up, because there's no way he, like, got his face cut. He's like, I really gotta get this trap. Like, but even then, he still couldn't, I don't know, like, the time
What
frame
if
that trap-
Gordon made that trap?
Well, that's a debate we can have later because like some people say Gordon doesn't make traps.
Yes.
He's not a trapper.
I agree.
I'm not saying that's what I say. People feel like that. I don't like
Right,
that.
but
feeling.
Well, I
it's a
agree- I agree with
possibility though.
people.
It's a possibility. Yeah, that's the thing. So I guess Gordon's off on his, but well, that would
Because
make
Gordon also has people that he works for him.
well that
too,
would
right?
that would
He has
make
those 2 other pig people.
well that would make sense though because in the commentary of the DVD they say the pig people are those 2 guys from the first trap.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why it could
Who
make
says
sense.
that in the comments?
It's either the director or one of the writers. It's on
Really?
the commentary track. Yeah, they're the 2 pig people. So
That'd
yeah.
be very fitting.
I thought it
Ah.
meant from the Saw 1.
No.
No,
From
from
the
the-
very first
the
shot of this
lumberjack
movie, the
machine.
lumberjack. Yeah,
Oh,
that's why
okay.
I'm on the camp of like I think Gordon has a bit.
Really?
We can talk.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well then let's talk about this now because we've been around the bush. Because well, go. What do you want to say?
I just want to say that I will throw out that because I know we've complained about how traps have kind of gotten to the point where it relies on other people. I know, like Jeff, it was kind of a shitty reason, like you're sad all the time. But I think that this one is a good reason to have this guy in control of a lot of the traps because he
The
is
Bobby one.
just like, well, the hanging one the most because, but in theory, all of them, they're not, this guy's not just saying, I'm angry at people, he's been lying and deceiving people and getting rich off of, like, Jigsaw, where Jeff was like, okay, you're here because you're mad and you have to decide to save these people. And this is more like, the lawyer one is because she sees evil and continues to do shit. The publicist gets her throat ripped out because she keeps talking all this bullshit. I feel like these ones are at least...
There's one that does.
Except
There's
for his
one
wife.
huge one. Yeah, his wife makes no sense.
His wife didn't know anything.
She's a completely innocent, and Jigsaw kills her in one of the most brutal ways ever.
I don't really know because it just froze at
so
that
no,
part.
what happens is while that's happening, she's like, why? What's he talking about? And Bobby admits that, like, I've been lying to you the whole time. I made up the story.
But isn't that
and she
his
goes,
story? Is that he had to, like, pull up to
No,
see
that's true, but his
Yeah.
wife, so his
His wife didn't know that he was lying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his
Whereas
wife is
the other three people did. So
Yeah.
you're right in that degree. Like those people, maybe they do deserve to die.
had it coming,
but,
maybe.
But the wife was completely innocent.
Because what happens is when he doesn't complete that trap, when it busts out, she's chained. Literally, a metal pig comes over her.
Honestly, I love that trap. Like the engineering of that trap is just fucking mind-boggling. It is the craziest trap out of the entire series
And
so
I have
far.
yet to see it.
It is
It's the
insane, man.
So
it
it's-
is
yeah.
fucking massive.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
That's
It
where
is insane.
That's where the budget
I
went.
love
So
it.
this metal pig comes over her, it locks up, and then flames come. It's very much like Obbies, but times 1,000. And you literally see her like burned to death. You see shots of her without her hair and her skin's burned. So she dies this horrible, awful way. And I know people could be like, well, that's Bobby. He deserved it. He lied and he put her in this situation. But she does not deserve at all to be in there. That's another one of these Jigsaw hypocritical things. Makes no sense whatsoever because
Yeah.
it'd be different if he got
And
burned.
then
but
Jigsaw doesn't he say in the tape that like she didn't know?
yeah,
Like so he knew that
Yeah.
she didn't know.
Yeah, so, so it's just like he literally kills this woman for no reason, and it's like it's ridiculous. That's where like there's been other times where I feel like there is cases where we could be like, oh, it's debatable, or you can see from his twisted point of view, but there's no sense in this one. Jigsaw, I don't know, even on his sickbed, him being like, yeah, and she should die here. It's like this to me is the trap that like pisses over his entire legacy, and it's kind of fitting. It's the last movie, so it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's just like other times you could be like, okay, well, I guess Carrie is a cop, but maybe she hasn't been valuing her life. But it's like this girl just met a guy who's been through a lot, thought she was helping him out, got married, had a great life, and then he burns her to death in a
I
pig.
feel like the only reason is strictly just because of his story. Had he left her out of it, she wouldn't have been there. Like,
But she's not in the story.
is she not in the story?
No, it's just him. It's just him in it,
Yeah.
and his story is he's
And
put in this
the
trap,
thing
and he
that
has
also
to do that.
doesn't make a whole lot of sense is that I can't remember where, but Jigsaw says that he's like, yeah, like you lied and all this, but you are helping people. Like it is a good thing. Like he's helped a lot of people, but he still is like, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm still gonna kill
'cause
you.
he's taking
So like
credit
I don't
for his
understand
shit.
why he says that. It kind of
No, he should
it just makes it like because he's such. I feel like he's a very decisive person, and he
because
makes,
even in that
he
meeting,
makes sense in his own fucked up way. But that he kind of this movie.
even in that
disappointing.
meeting he has with him in person, he's full on just like, you're gonna pay for all your sins and you're a liar, this and that. But yeah, when he does drop like,
It
you're
seems
helping
pretty
people,
funny.
it's like, why does it? You don't even gotta drive. Why are you giving him some weird sense of hope that like, okay, you could do that in the movie, but they don't get into that. Jigsaw just feels like he knew this was gonna be his last his last go. So he's like, I don't care. Like the Hoffman's like, have you looked this up? No, just do the tapes, do the traps. Like,
You
oh.
told me to ask you. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just so the whole thing is from.
Well, I mean, even the fact that this trap happens is kind of like an afterthought, obviously, because in Saw 6, like we get to see what's in the box, and that's like the final people, right?
yeah.
That's like the end of it.
Well,
It's supposed to be. It was.
That's
I think. Right?
that's the part that doesn't make sense. So she has the box, and it'd be different if Hoffman had these files already, but he has to go to jail to get the files. And it's not like we didn't see all the files later on. Like obviously there were 6, right? 6 was Hoffman, and then the 5 are all from Saw 5. So this is why same thing with that trap at the beginning and later on. It doesn't make sense because. So what did Hoffman find? Hoffman almost got killed by Jill Tuck, and then he's like, yeah, but I should still honor John's wishes and like
perform this last trap with Bobby Dagen. I feel like I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna let him go. Fuck John.
So
like,
do you think
yeah.
he should have died and they should have just cut it after 6?
oh, after this movie, yes. Like, the only thing that sucks is, like, we would have got the Gordon thing, and the Gordon thing is intriguing, but at the same time, then I would have rather them just left that and done that for Jigsaw or something.
Sure,
Like we said, like, I don't know if it's worth it. I would have rather than, if this was the route we were going, maybe Hoffman should have just died in the bear trap and that was it. But it doesn't make sense because who is setting up these games? You know, then there is like, oh, maybe it is Gordon because Hoffman doesn't actually have any. Well, no, he does because Hoffman
honestly,
kidnaps Bobby.
It would make more sense.
I don't know.
It would make more sense if Gordon makes the trap at the start of this movie. If
Yeah.
those two people are his accomplices.
Yeah.
Because that honestly is kind of the same thing as Jigsaw recruiting Gordon. Because after Gordon gets out, he has like that scene. Also, it's really funny when he puts like a little bit of water on his face. Like the editing of it is like, it's like. Side
and
note.
John's not even nice about it. He's he's just like pounding a piece of meat while he's seasoning it. Like he's not even subtly
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll clean this wound. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, he's a pretty aggressive guy. But I mean, yeah, that would make sense because Jigsaw recruits or John, he recruits Gordon after the movie, like after the events of the first when Gordon
Immediately
escapes.
after.
Immediately after.
He finds me like,
So
oh.
I mean, it almost would kind of make sense if Gordon had done the same with those two guys. Obviously, it's kind of different because they're in a public place, so he couldn't obviously go talk to them right afterwards
Yeah.
or anything. But
But they went to the group, right? That's the thing, because they were at the group
Right.
survival, so he could have
Oh,
shown
yeah.
them, yeah, let me show you some
Something.
stuff. But the thing
Let me
is,
show you some stuff.
See this leg? No, the thing is though with the Bobby trap, I did remember that they find out that not Hoffman, a pig person kidnapped Bobby. So I guess you could still say maybe that pig person's one of them, but it's implied that Hoffman set up this trap. And the thing is, I would be down if the movie's like, oh, Hoffman set up this trap to distract the police so he could get away, but the police aren't really looking into this trap until like the end of the movie. Like they at one point have one scene where they walk through a couple places and no one's there, but it's not like a big thing. It's kind of
what trap? Sorry, are you talking about the one?
all the Bobby ones, like the
Yeah.
cops and the internal affairs FBI, they're not focused on that. They're all focused on getting Hoffman, right, or protecting.
Right, and then
Jill.
they're at that other place with like the car scene, that great car scene.
Because the thing is, Hoffman already did a trap to distract them. That was this car trap with shout out to Chester Benningfield, singer of Linkin Park's in that. But like that's what I mean. Like why would Hoffman after the bear trap sew himself up and be like, okay, but I still gotta do this Bobby Dagen trap? And it's like, okay, then maybe if it's Gordon, then sure, but we don't get that explained. Like
No,
so bad.
very bad.
Mm.
Well, let's
talk about Gordon because we were.
let's finish off with Bobby.
Oh yeah, I
Because
guess so.
he still has the moment when he finally does have to do the Chris Angel thing and put the fish hooks or the big hooks. I forget. Put the hooks through his pecs and climb up. And he pretty much did it. He just didn't put the thing together.
What do you
and
think
then
his
he falls
scars were?
Where were they?
off.
Like
What's that, sorry?
his scars, like the original ones?
Oh, I think
The
they just
fake
took like
ones?
a knife and did it.
No, not like
Solid.
special effects or anything. He just.
Anytime he showers,
They don't
honey,
have- yeah.
your scars are falling off.
Oh yeah,
Just
I
a
guess.
Your scars are falling off.
Yes, it's a miracle. The thing is, I actually like that trap. It's a good idea, and the only thing that bugs me in that one peck, he like goes like, and he starts really hard, and the next one he just like literally just pops it
Just
in.
like snaps it off.
Yeah, it's like, oh, but I like the idea of the trap he has to do it and put the power in and it falls in, because it is like a wincing, oof, like, I always think the traps like that work, because you could imagine like some of your skin ripping. The traps like where a rod goes through my eyes, I can't imagine that pain, so for me it's never like, oh my god, it's like, I don't know what that feels like, so that doesn't affect me, but I like the trap, I just hate the outcome of his wife getting...
I love watching it too, where he's like, he does these like really long pulls, and
He's
he
just
moves up,
working
and he
out.
moves up like this much.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's a heavy guy.
It's a lot harder.
Like-
Yeah, well, yeah, he's pretty tired after having
No.
to lift that like
And he-
100
No,
pounds.
And he
actually-
took
of-
his teeth out, remember?
He also had to do
Random
that.
scene.
He took his teeth out.
Yeah, to get into the room, he
He
needed a
needed-
code.
Yeah.
And Jigsaw tattooed the code on his
And
teeth.
he tells him exactly what to do, and it's like really weird. It's like, why do you even do this?
And we
you
get, like,
you
a
give him
five-
so many details. Like, what's the point?
We get like a 5-minute scene of Bobby like running up against the wall, like trying to get this tooth out. And
Yeah.
he bleeds a lot, and then once we get in the next room, he's
It's all
fine.
Well, I mean, even the huge pulls he had in his side, it's like, well, those they didn't really happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It's a
then
miracle.
and then Bobby, I guess his I don't actually give a fuck what happens to Bobby. They just go,
right, he lives.
Well, no, he don't know. He guess he lives, but then he tries to save his wife, but remember he runs up against those, like, electric wires, and he just, like, shocks himself to unconsciousness, and I could ask a lot of questions, like, in Jigsaw, could we see Gordon or Hoffman or flashbacks of these characters?
There's no Bobby.
No Bobby. What? He'll be Jigsaw. But yeah, I don't give a fuck. That's no one. I care more about Jeff's daughter than I do about Bobby. Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Bobby.
what's she up to? You know, maybe she's in on. Maybe
Some
she's set
people,
up these traps.
some people think she might be like killer in Jigsaw because like it's been 10 years and she'd be like almost 20
She's
now.
like 17.
Yeah, the soft forms are popping off with their.
I'm gonna go visit the site. It seems like a great place.
Yeah. Okay, want to talk about Gordon now?
Sure.
Okay, so let's start off. I love the first scene. It starts right where he gets the bathroom. Only thing that sucks is you can clearly see he's aged quite a bit in this scene.
Oh yeah.
He does not look like he did.
You know, it's a very
ago.
stressful thing you have to do. It's you know, it's like the people where you see like pictures like the presidents after like their 4-year term.
That's
they
fair.
age quite a bit.
Yeah.
6 hours of Jigsaw trap. That's like 3 years, man. That's a long time.
You know what? I can't say you're wrong. And then
I can't say I'm right. But
Yeah.
I if I had to give it a plot reason why that's the case, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, and I think for me, I remember seeing it for the first time. I thought, this is the perfect way to set up final chapter. Starts with him as the last one. We're wondering, cauterizes his wound, so you get this thing of for a little bit. You're like, he made it out, or at least he's alive. So
Yeah,
it's like, where
and that's a
is
good
he?
scene when he
Like the
jams
cauterizing.
his leg into
Yeah.
that
So
metal
good.
pipe thing.
Yeah, no, like that's all good. We get to the meeting, and this is where my problems start because like. Right when he walks out, why does he have to be creepy, Dr. Gordon? Like, he's like, something about lies. He doesn't say, what does he say to him? Like, not about lies, that's John, but he just says something like, your story's just so inspirational to us all. And he's like, and he's just like weird, and right when he did that, ever since Saw, as a former Saw Forums IMDb'er, every theory was always just like, lots of people are like, he's behind it, some people say it's not. That right there, he walked out, you're like, he's clearly bad now, and he's clearly, like, helping Jigsaw on Apprentice, because he's just so overly creepy, they don't even, like, it's not even, like, a wink, nudge, just, like, he's bad, you're gonna find out later, and that's why the twist at the end, that's why I was hoping, when I saw the first time, like, he's gonna be bad, and then we're gonna learn maybe just even 10 minutes later, like, yeah, he is bad, so he is creepy, but it's, like, for him to be creepy, and then to not see him for a whole hour, and, like, guess what, he's in the pig mask, like, that's what right when I saw Pig Mask, it's like I know that's Gordon. He's fucking creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Like I hate that part, the middle part. They should have made him just a bit more neutral.
Yeah, they really didn't need that because it's awkward and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense like story wise.
He's sitting in the back of the room, just in shadows.
And then he walks out and they're like, who's that? It's like, did he not think to ask that before the meeting
Well, it's one of those things too
started?
of like this guy's been missing and
I don't think he's been missing to us.
I don't know. That's the thing that's annoying, right? Like I would love to know what happened with like his family. I'd love to know.
Is he still married? Or
yeah,
what?
like were people like looking for him? Did people ever know that he was in a Saw trap? Even,
Well, because
right?
the thing was, I'd have to look and see how much time is between Saw 1 and Saw 2, but the thing is, he does the eye trap with the guy that has the key in the eye. So when they first show Gordon, like, getting recovered by Jigsaw, to me, when I saw it first time, I was like, this feels like he's been there for maybe even, like, a year or something, like, at least 6 months. But if he's already back by Saw 2, it's like, he was up and moving around, doing stuff for Jigsaw pretty quickly. Like, I think...
that was Saw 2, the eye?
Yeah, that's the first trap. So he was, I would say the most is maybe 3 months. So it's like, he was missing, and maybe just for a little bit.
Well,
but at this point, too, one thing,
Yeah.
there's Amanda in the timeline. It's really just Amanda, and then Gordon would be like the second survivor. So you'd feel like when they're like Jessica said, "Who's that?" He's the second survivor, and if really at that point, he's the only survivor that's not a known Jigsaw accomplice.
But we've never, since he never comes up again, it's never stated if he was in a trap. And remember, they were after him. As
never
like
stated they found him.
They thought he was like maybe in on it, right? They thought he maybe was Jigsaw, and obviously they found like John Kramer and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, it wouldn't be surprising to think that he was always still like suspect if he disappeared and it was completely gone.
But they
I don't know what
they
the
always
fuck
talk
it
about
was.
in past tense, like your doctor, or it's like flashbacks, right? They're never like,
Jigsaw,
and Gordon.
John Kramer says that. Isn't he the only other person in the entire series who mentions Gordon?
Yeah, I guess.
And it's like, it's never, he's never talking about it, he just name drops him.
Yeah,
like an Easter egg.
no, I guess so. And some people look through these at one point. There's like files of Jigsaw victims, but it just says Gordon. It doesn't say live or deceased. So there's nothing really that shows someone would talk to him. And then it is, to me, that's the most frustrating.
But that's why that scene's even more confusing. Like I It just seems really odd that he would be there and that no one would care, no one would know.
Well,
I don't know.
Someone
it's
does.
bizarre.
Someone does know. They're like, oh, he's one of the Jigsaw victims. Been like around. Like it's either there's a lower
really?
post.
Oh,
One
okay.
does say like he's been here for a while, but it's like I just feel like it's not that big of a deal. And then even then, it's just like, yeah, it's just like okay, he gets out. Wouldn't the cops? The thing is, they show that scene where Gordon walks out. He looks a lot healthier. He has a fucking jacket. Wouldn't the cops be like, hey, you walked out and you got a leg and you were in a saw trap? Like, we're gonna ask you some questions, even if you're innocent.
Yeah.
How'd you get out there? That's the thing. They probably did. But we didn't get to see those scenes. Like, that's what this movie should have been. Flashbacks of him, like, talking to the cops.
Well, I mean, he
have a
should-
flashback with him and Strong talking about, like, it's the final chapter. You could bring Strong back. You could bring in flashbacks, but they don't, and that's the thing. Like,
Because that's the big problem is that we didn't see him through 2 through 6.
no.
And so yeah, if this movie, once again, dropped the Bobby Dagen bullshit and just
And
added,
Gibson.
like I honestly, if this movie was just Gordon and like a shit ton of flashbacks, him talking with like
Fine.
all sorts of characters of the series, that'd be a perfect way to tie up the series because he's obviously like in the first movie, obviously it's Gordon and Adam, and those two characters are like way more prominent than any other victims
They're
in
our
any
first
other
ever
movies,
leads.
really,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Exactly, and they're in
And they're
it.
iconic now because
And,
the first
since
one.
like every other movie after that has like 1,000 people in these traps, like you get so much time with them. So to bring him back and then have it connect all the way through, like oh man, there's so many ideas here for like what could have been a great finale.
Yeah, just look through your
Finale.
archive footage and mix, like, oh, we could have added him here. Or,
And they did do that, but then, because did you see the last little bit of the
There-
montage
well,
they do for him?
I saw the eye and then
Yeah,
the side one for Amanda, was it? No. There
Well,
was
he-
another one.
The one where he stitches up the guy's eye for the.
He did that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did
From
the
software.
eye in the guy's... The eye in the guy's key. The key in the guy's eye.
Yeah.
And then he set them to lid. But that's like anything...
I thought it showed him more than just the one sew up.
I don't think so. But even then, for me, it doesn't matter because like I would just assume anything like that with the key in Williams' chest, anything that needed medical, that he got the call, right? So I just assume, okay, he's been around since Saw 2, he's been helping for a while, and that's like where we can debate now. That's been the debate ever since this movie came out was, is he like a disciple or is he an actual apprentice? Because like I can see the disciple theory, but then I think it's just because it's poor writing, but there's stuff that contradicts it of like, okay, if Hoffman didn't do that trap at the beginning, that should have been Gordon. Because the thing is, for me, if Gordon's a disciple of Jigsaw, just helping him out, I don't understand why he has 2 pig people with him. You know, that's always been my hang up. It's like, that's a Jigsaw thing to recruit people. If he's just helping Jigsaw on the side, like, the thing is, so Hoffman walks out. He badass. We'll talk about Hoffman too. We gotta show him.
Yeah.
But he burns the lair. We get the classic 3D things go flying at the
Classic
screen.
cool guy doesn't look at explosions. Yeah.
Yeah, so Hoffman's walking, and then the pig people like are holding him, and then Gordon comes with the syringe and hits him, right? All John says on the tape is, hey, if something happens to Jill, you know, take care of it. All Gordon needs to do, doesn't even pig mask, Hoffman's walking, has a gun, he executes Hoffman in the streets and walks away. And at the end of the day, Hoffman's a mass murderer, they could easily write off like, oh, just somebody killed him. So that's what my thing about, I feel like he's apprentice because he has these pig people. If he just has to kill him, he doesn't need these pig people. He doesn't need to take him back to the bathroom.
Right.
And I don't think he'll be a continuing killer. And it's just because if this is in the franchise, I like to have my own version of it. But that's the way I've always looked at it. There's been things pointing at what?
It's the key in the eye, the guy's eyes, and the mouth. That was the...
Oh, Art's mouth? Yeah, with the... Yeah. But yeah, I assume he's done like everything like surgical, whatever there is. Like I'm sure I'm sure he helped them get that acid for Carrie. You know, like, oh, I can just go to the clinic and my clinic carries sulfuric acid.
No, perfect.
But then, what about... Because this is where the only thing is, if you guys mentioned this while I was watching, I'm sorry. So, if he does everything, but Amanda helped put him in the bathroom, but he would have helped sew up the guy's cellmate's body for Amanda.
I think he could I feel like, let's say Amanda has to put that guy in let's say the sewed up guys, let's say she was dead, I don't know. Any trap, I feel like he could have just said to Amanda, hey, Hoffman did that, or Hoffman, hey, Amanda did that, or hey, just take this guy. And classic Jigsaw, the back, oh, like, how'd you do his eyes? Like, that doesn't matter, just get him there. Like, there's so many times where they just don't.
Because Hoffman also never, like, I don't think he knew Gordon. He must have known Gordon that
I wish we knew.
a guy who survived the trap.
Yeah.
But then it also brings up the question of, I really want to see a scene where Hoffman and John are talking, and they're like, And Hoffman's like, what happened to that guy? Where did he go? Did you just let him go?
Yeah.
Like,
Or maybe Hoffman.
and why did that guy just disappear?
Or maybe
I think you guys missed my point though. Like, because the I one's in the first one, and that's the same time where Amanda has her first trap and her cellmate is.
The I one's not in the first one. The I one's in the second one.
The I one's in the second one.
The one where he has to cut the. Yeah, that's the very start of Saw 2.
The very first one, the key. Did he just swallow it? Is it just in his stomach?
Ooh.
You're talking with Amanda's trap.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I think he just swallowed it.
It was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
swallowed,
yeah. I don't think it was surgically put
Okay, I was
in there.
gonna
I mean,
say-
it's not like whether like Gordon can just do it without it being super sloppy, but Jigsaw can still do those things.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He could still cut the guy's eye
Because
and put a key in there if he wanted to. Yeah, it wouldn't be as well done as Gordon.
He wants his
perhaps.
Yeah.
precision.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
so where he takes over is 2, and then from there, anything that happened in 1 or prior, like barbed wire guy.
And then
'cause-
Hoffman's been there the whole time.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. So like I guess technically Gordon is like the final third like accomplished, right? And then
If that's all there is.
well, apparently not, judging by Jigsaw, if there's another one. But and then I feel like he's the one that he did keep secret from Amanda and Hoffman, even though, like you said. But then again, I guess Hoffman, he would have just let him out, and then Jigsaw would have been like, oh, he escaped his game, and he went off to live his life, I guess, right? Even though they
Yeah.
kind of keep tabs on everybody, I guess. But I think he's
They bring him
supposed
back
to
when
be.
they need his character. Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be the Jigsaw's like secret weapon. He pretty much is, right? Because we find out Jill put that envelope in Gordon's office.
So yeah, so Jill knows about Gordon.
Knows about Gordon, like Jessica said. We don't know if they've actually met.
Right.
Because we never see a scene. We never see a scene of those two together.
Yeah.
It's just assume that maybe she met him during John's like cancer
Right.
trials or
Sure.
whatnot, but we assume so.
Assumptions.
Yeah.
You have anything to add, Taylor? You've been really quiet for a long time.
You guys have covered like everything. I don't have anything.
You
I
need
can
to stop
really
being so
add.
polite. You need to stop us, man.
Are you hungry again or something, Taylor?
No, this
No.
is like wow.
Well, how did you?
This is like wow.
Believe that stuff, but then how do you personally feel about how they use Gordon? Like maybe you do agree, but if you do agree, how would you like to see it done, or in that type of
You know, I mean, you make a good point. Yeah, make him less obviously Jigsaw accomplice. You know, but I mean, I would have had it if they didn't even reveal him at the very beginning at all. Period, and then they just showed him.
that
pulling the
last scene
mask
was
off.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that would have been like,
yeah.
what's going on? Like, that would have turned some heads and like.
I think I could be with you. I think the opening is great, so I think for me, I would keep the opening and just cut the creepy Gordon part and then have him have the mask. He'd be in it even less, but that creepy Gordon part's not a good scene, so it wouldn't really matter. So I can kind of be on you with that he's only kind of the pig mask guy.
Yeah, and then just alter some of the flashbacks, you know, detailing, because when he walks out with like that coat and everything, I'm like, oh, he looks like he just came back from vacation or something, like.
Oh,
And maybe that
yeah.
could be like something that he uses, like, oh no, I was on vacation and I stepped on a nail in like Mexico.
Well, no,
or
his
something.
wife doesn't know he was kidnapped, remember? But we don't know what happened there. We don't know, like...
That's true. Well,
yeah.
probably divorce, I would think, you know.
But that's, I mean, I doubt it. That's where in my mind it's not. In my mind, he went back. They thought he was dead. They were happy. He kind of pulls the Dexter thing and creates like this fake life to cover it up. So like the first time when they thought he was Jigsaw, they're like, no, he's not Jigsaw. We looked into him. He was a victim. He's fine. He's the perfect like guy to continue that on, but we don't know if that's the case or not. You know, because the cops, like you said, Dylan, what if they're still like, yeah, and Gordon's still a little shady. Like he disappears all the time. Like all the doctors around him keep
He always has a
disappearing.
lot of blood on him.
Yeah, and he keeps asking for keys. He's getting all these keys made. They're like, hey, this guy's getting these tapes made. These guys are getting these keys made. This Detective Hoffman keeps getting these polls. Something doesn't add up. Yeah. What do you feel about the Jigsaw apprentice versus disciple thing? Do you think he was just a helper? Or do you think he was like Amanda Hoffman equivalent? Because like I said, this is something that's been debated since 2010, and it still riles on. Because anytime I see like he's an apprentice, be like, nah, shut up, he's just a disciple.
I feel like he's more of an apprentice. I feel like, yeah, he was doing this work for him, but I feel like at the same time he was learning under Jigsaw's kind of wing. Like the fact, like, oh, here's like Jeff's wife, you know, she'll be perfect for it. Like he was really, he was more than a helper. I feel like at that point, like he wasn't like a Zep or anything like that.
Zep.
So I mean,
shout out to Zeb.
Long time.
Shout out to Aubrey too.
So that's where you can really see the difference between an apprentice and a helper.
Mm.
So I feel like he's the apprentice.
Mm. And Jessica, you have the opposing view of this, that you feel he's just like a helper, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's just, you can only go off really what's based on what's been shown, which is just him helping. It's just, giving the information about a doctor when he works in a hospital is not going really out of the way. He's a doctor. And so many people up, he's a doctor. I mean, that's what he does. If they're...
Until he kills Hoff, or doesn't really... He sort of kills Hoff.
He leaves him to die, yeah. But that one I think is like personal,
yeah,
right?
that's like
so
the note. If something happens to Jill, you have to do what I say.
That's when he has to get dirty.
But see, this is why with that, I would wish that we'd know why is Gordon feel so indebted to him, though. Like, more so than just like, he changed my life.
It still doesn't... We don't know why Gordon decided to help him, really. Like,
he doesn't have to.
Obviously, there's always the, threat. Like, he's like, yeah, I can kill your wife and kids and you.
Yeah.
Like, he's a pretty intimidating
but
guy.
he seemed like he was having a good time.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like he was being forced there, especially if he died. Why would he need to go kill for Jill's sake?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because there's not even a whole lot of scenes where you could, try to decide based on his, the way his face...
You just have a scene of him watching the tape and it's like...
Yeah.
Well, there's, the scene of, him having his leg fixed by John.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
And maybe it's like a Stockholm Syndrome thing,
Yeah.
but then, I want to see that movie. Again, I keep going back to that, but, I guess it is because he shouldn't feel indebted, John helped me my leg. It's like, well, he also took your leg.
You also have to keep in mind, too, that, Jigsaw through Zepp was pretty fucking brutal, and, Zepp almost killed his wife. Yeah! Right? So that's, also a thing that... I mean, obviously, him and his wife had, some issues, but still...
He didn't want them dead.
The fact that that's just kind of completely brushed over is confusing.
Well, yeah. Well, even take his wife out, Zeb was supposed to kill the wife and his daughter. So it's like, okay, even if he truly hated his wife, he's like, oh, you could kill her.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense if...
Not at all.
That doesn't make sense if John's intention was to recruit him, then why would he... I feel like killing his wife and kid would just cause problems because that would be okay, I'm gonna try to recruit this guy, and he maybe will go along with it, but then he'd maybe try to kill John. That would make sense.
I don't think his initial intention was to recruit him, but when he picked him up, I was like, oh, okay, but how does John know the wife's are all kids? Because if he got out and sorry, Gordon, Zep killed your kid, and he's like, well, okay, I know who Jigsaw is. He's a sick guy. He's my patient.
Yeah.
Well, and then the thing too that I was just thinking about. Obviously, Jigsaw didn't actually need Dr. Gordon. If he's able to fix his leg and fit him with a prosthetic...
He's took a couple med classes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like doing prosthetics
he knows a lot
is
about the human body, that's for sure.
It's a specialization after becoming a doctor, if I'm not mistaken, so...
Yeah. I think, Dylan says, I think it's just a Jigsaw, he wanted to be perfect, so he gets this specialist who...
I mean, if you really think about it, it's why did he need Amanda, and why did he need Gordon? It doesn't...
Well, okay,
so
Amanda,
a concrete answer for
I feel like Amanda, if we let's take the approach that Gordon is just the helper. I feel like Gordon's gonna be the guy who supplies you with the goods, right? He's the helper and everything like that. So eventually when Jigsaw dies, maybe one of his last things is, hey, by the way, I've saved Gordon away. He's gonna help you. If Amanda passed her test was clear, he's gonna help you continue. And I still feel like the plan was always,
I
you're
guess
gonna kill Hoffman too.
I guess he was kind of just recruiting as many people as he could and seeing who was worthy candidates.
Yeah, and I feel
maybe that's the point of his traps was he's trying to see who was mentally strong enough.
Did they talk about Amanda bringing in the bed and stuff for Saw 3? Because, I mean, he could have done things like that as well, medical equipment for him, keeping him alive, and in Saw 2,
they don't even hint that, but you would think that's maybe where they got that stuff. They could have talked about that, but no, they just did Jeff's wife, and he has this he has this shot of Lynn that's a modeling shot. It's like, how did you get that, Gordon?
Her headshot, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the end result, like we said with Gordon, is good, but it leaves so much to be desired and so many questions. At this point, I'll even just take a fucking graphic novel, just anything. It's just there's just so much up in the air, and that's why we'll talk about with Jigsaw. And maybe if it continues, then you can strike everything I say, but I just get the feeling it's not. So if this is it, it's just it's a fun I agree with some fans that do say the ending feels a little fan servicey because we don't get to learn about everything, and it's just how are we gonna end Saw the last one? Let's throw Gordon in there, and it does feel like that. It feels like I'm happy to see it, and I like the inclusion, but it's so empty, and there's so much stuff we could have learned, and I think that would have been a much better movie, and we're just kind of stuck. We've been talking past 12-15 minutes about how would this work and how does this work. That stuff to me, that would have made a great movie if the writer said down okay, what would Gordon have done and what would this have but no, it was nah, let's just do traps and let's just. This one felt like a lot too of because the last one we gotta have a lot of gross and traps. I feel the traps
it's
on
a
purpose.
combination of overly 3D. Like when Gordon throws
Oh my God.
that bone saw
Yeah.
I
and
don't
it
think
just
so.
like hits the camera. That dream sequence that Jill has. While I love it, honestly,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, it's in my top 5 favorite traps. Like I fucking love it so much.
But her body
But
comes like,
it is really like that has no like. I guess it's to show that she's scared of Hoffman, but I don't think that scene's necessary for that to
No.
be shown. It's simply in there to have another trap and to appease some of the 3D nerds.
and they use it tons in the trailer.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, which everyone called it before, like, this is a dream sequence, like, look at what Jill's wearing,
Yeah.
like, this is dream
Fair
sequence,
enough.
but they
I've
use-
actually never seen
Yeah.
a trailer for
you should go and watch
any
them
of
all
these
now.
movies except for I have seen the Jigsaw one like a while ago.
Yeah,
I
you-
totally joked about that with Matt though, because she's wearing the exact same outfit except a bra.
yeah.
And I'm like, did Hoffman like undress her, take off her bra, and then put her shirt back on?
Hey,
I was-
Jill.
yeah, I'm like, something's not right
Yeah,
here.
take a peek, you know.
Yeah, he's been hunting this one for a while, so.
Might as well.
Well, let's talk about him. Let's talk about Big Bad Booty Daddy Hoffman.
Big bad booty daddy.
Where did that come from?
It's a wrestling nickname, but
I thought it was from the Saw forums.
no, I'm
The
gonna
Booty Daddy.
my name on soft forums. I think soft forums is like Hoffman for life, but I'm gonna change it. To
Hoffman for
yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm gonna change it to Big Bad Booty Daddy Hoffman. Yeah, I think
That's too many characters. It's not gonna fit.
I'm gonna check. I'm
Not
gonna
gonna
check.
fit.
Yeah, he just never disappoints. I said it last time. This actor, I want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah,
Just
he's
his grimace and his
fucking
acting,
badass.
and just like it sounds bad, but when he's slamming Jill's head on the concrete, and he's just like, "You fucking bitch!" Like you can feel like he feels like he's actually angry, and like there's actually a really good blooper of them. They start to laugh while he was doing that, but like. That's the thing to me, like, he's such a good actor, he's the best part of this movie, because, like, I like Gordon, but because there's those questions it lessens it, with
Sure.
this, like, the scene where he does go into the police agents, or the police whatever department, and just fucks everybody up,
Oh
is
my god.
phenomenal.
That's like I
It's
don't know.
Voice Scrambler
I don't know how to
2.0.
describe how much I love that. Like when the guy opens up the body bag and Hoffman just like pops his little face out, so good. And he just shanks him.
And it's the same guy, when Hoffman was like, how can you tell from a picture? It was the same guy when, I can tell because I've worked every case.
Really?
It's
It's
him.
the
so,
same guy?
so Hoffman got his revenge, like,
That's
fuck you,
hilarious.
buddy. Like, if it wasn't for you, I would have been free. So, like,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I it's kind of poorly done, but I really like when he's just kind of walking around and trying to find Jill. Like, it's really weird. Like, he looks in that little closet, and then she,
He
like,
stares
makes a
at her, like-
noise, and then he looks over. It's like, wait, couldn't he have seen her the whole time?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the logistics of that shot. I'm trying to picture it, like, it doesn't make
There's
sense.
literally in the room, Hoffman walks in, there's a bookcase or whatever, a crate.
File cabinet.
Yeah, file cabinet. Jill's there. But Hoffman isn't eye view, like it's not like she's behind it. She's
And
on the
wearing-
side of it.
And she has, like, blonde hair and, like, a bright shirt.
Yeah.
Like, she's pretty
But
visible.
Hoffman just stares in that room for like 5 minutes. That's the weakest he's ever been. He's like, he's trying to like, I can adapt
Yeah.
in like the
And then
darkness.
he just fucking drop kicks her.
He
It's so
does.
good.
And he just flies against the wall, and
And then
then
he just shanks a bunch of people. He strangles that one girl and like puts her eye up.
that's my
So
favorite
that the
moment.
guy thinks that she's alive, and then he just shanks him, pops the guy right through the eye. I fucking love that.
There-
The whole sequence is so good.
I laugh so much, especially as we told about the Weekend at Bernie's thing. He literally Weekend at Bernie's the woman to get in that room. My favorite thing is when the cop does see the woman at the glass. It's not that she's standing there; her head's like literally up against the thing like
yeah,
this.
she's-
And the cop's like, "Yeah, I'll let him in." And then Hoffman head caps him. And then there's the
He obviously doesn't have a very high opinion of that girl if you think that's how she looks.
no. And then there's the one cop. Jill's like, "Did you hear something?" He like turns around and he stands there. Hoffman shoots him through the glass, kills him.
Right through the eye.
Oh, phenomenal! Great scene. One of the best scenes.
Does he
ever.
like set his gun down and then Jill just runs past his gun?
What happens
She's too
is
scared to get that gun.
what happens is Hoffman, he's pretty stupid of him, honestly. He goes in there and like gets really close and like tries to talk to her, and she just like shanks him with something. Again, I feel like he's got shanked in the neck like 3 times throughout these movies, like twice in this movie.
On his like creative character, he like put his neck attributes like really high. Because, like, but the thing is, no, he comes in and he's like, "How do I look?" Like classic, like Hoffman was like, "This is not the time." I don't even know what she stabbed him with a pen, maybe.
Maybe honestly, it might have been like a little knife or something.
Yeah. She stabbed him with that, and then finally we get to see the bear trap, which I love, but at the same time is less because this is a scene that has the most pink blood in it, 100%. And in 3D, it's super lame that they make like her like mouth and stuff shoot at the screen. It's like I like seeing the bear trap, but it was kind of disappointing when they've had all this gimmick stuff.
I think I was
around it.
just really happy to see Jill die.
Oh, 100%. That was so cathartic. Anybody who needed to die was her. Like, oh,
Yeah.
4 movies of that.
That's bad. Yeah, that whole sequence is just amazing.
Best part of the movie.
Hoffman's such a badass, dude.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I feel like she dies really quick though. I don't know.
Well, the thing that I laugh is her flashbacks are very minor. She doesn't have that many scenes, so they just There's a couple flashbacks that are just her flashbacks or flashbacks of her life.
It's like that initial one when you don't know who she is.
Yeah,
it's like John Kramer with like her doing next to the
she's
tree.
Like she's running around like, what are you doing? Like, and then there's the thing of her and Giddy, and like it's just like she didn't do much in her life, did she? Like she was just John was her life, and that was about it, I guess. So, yeah. Do you guys have anything on the Hoffman scene?
On that scene where he comes into the prison,
Oh yeah.
or just Hoffman in general.
I guess Hoffman, he didn't get to do much in this movie than that.
I have some notes kind of pertaining to him, I guess I can mention.
Yeah.
So there's the one scene there where he like goes to sew up his face.
Oh yeah.
So he's in there sewing up his face, and at the same time, the TV is identifying the bodies that just died. From
like Saw 6 with William and all.
Yeah, they're like literally they find the bodies like 20 minutes later, if that. It's already on the news while he's sewing up his face, and I was like, that's
close call for Hoffman.
yeah. Saw 2, they couldn't find them at all until
Well, didn't, like, I'm curious what happened afterwards, but I bet like that sister and then the mother and the kid, like they all lived, right?
Yeah.
And maybe like their cages just unlocked after the timer or something, and they just left.
Yeah.
Okay,
maybe.
but then the same
It
thing
is-
happens
you do
with
have to
Jill's
make an
body.
assumption.
Then he's in there again, packing up all his shit to leave and lighting a fire, and they're identifying Jill's
Oh yeah,
body
Jill
as
Tuck,
exact
the
same.
wife of Jigsaw, died. Yeah, it's only like 10 minutes later.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
quick. He's really fast. He can get to places. He probably has like what does Kevin James have in Mall Cop? What is it?
Moped.
Segway or-
Segway, that's it.
So
yeah.
Hoffman just like jumps on outside and he's going.
Maybe he can just teleport.
I don't- it
He's
wasn't-
invisible being.
it
That
was
would explain all the traps.
It was just the fact that it wasn't even once, but it was twice that he just like magically got where he needed to be, and it was just, I don't know, the timing did not work.
Yeah. I will say that I don't even know if they need Dr. Gordon, because Hoffman did a pretty good job stitching his face up. It looks, there's a big scar there, but it's going to heal really well. I'm just going to show
Very
you.
well.
Yeah. He's good. That's why another reason he's probably pissed, like, ugh, Gordon.
Who needs Gordon?
Yeah, I can sew you up, John.
I can do brain surgery, John.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
Whatever, you killed the guy with the pendulum, leave me alone. With an inferior blade. That's all he yells anytime Hoffman
Tempered
says something.
steel.
Yeah, anything. I can sew him up. Inferior blade! Temper steel!
Yeah, I think everything else we talked about, he's badass, but, has his moments when he does random shit that doesn't make sense.
Like what? Oh, like the gun thing and everything?
Yeah.
I think he's just so badass, like, I don't care. I'm gonna leave this gun right by you and you're not gonna grab it.
Well, and it's like his videos, too, are just like,
Yeah, they're kind
what
of...
the fuck?
Well, I feel like he made them lame just because he knew they were going to Gibson, so he's like, I don't gotta put any effort into this. Like,
It's not worth it for Gibson.
No, I'll get on Window Movie Maker X and won't even use Final Cut for him.
One of my other
Yikes.
favorite things, too, is he's, like, in there talking to Jill, and he opens the door right as this chick comes down the stairs, and she's like, I have this for Jill. And it was just, like, the timing. She's like, how, he might know where I am. He doesn't know where you are. We've got you hidden. Opens the door. She comes down. There's this DVD for Jill. And just, like, the timing of it was just, like, she's walking down the stairs as he's coming out. And I'm like, there's no realistic way that his timing is that perfect, guys.
Big bad booty daddy Hoffman. I can believe it. He has great timing.
I debated going onto the soft forums and stealing that before you could go
Don't
on.
do it.
I
need
typed
that.
it all in and I was like, oh, no, that's pretty mean.
I would then I would just do like Big Bad Booty Daddy Hoffman 69.
69.
That's the classic. Oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
69. How do we feel? Also, we might talk about him a bit more, but how do we feel about his presumed fate? I would imagine he's dead, and
Well, I want him to come back.
I 100% do, but I don't think
It's
so.
a typical Saw. He could be, he couldn't be. We'll see if we need him.
Yeah, like Eric Matthew Scott there without a trap, like without a saw, but he had the toilet thing, and people point out like Hoffman's in the dark. Like, I don't know. I feel like Hoffman's the type of guy who would chew his own foot off to get out of there. Like Hoffman's
He's
been
gonna
through so
he's gonna
much.
feed on Adam's body.
His bones.
His bones.
That's
just
what Hoffman. I eat bone for breakfast, brother.
That's how do you get strong necks like that?
They should make him Bonesaw in the next Spider-Man movie. But
Okay.
yeah.
That's a little out there.
Yeah, I desperately want him to come back, but I don't think he will. I feel like he's like General Grievous. Like, oh yeah, a lot of people love him Star Wars, but like
Yeah.
you're not gonna.
Well,
see
I mean,
it.
like, have they confirmed that the actors, like any actors,
They have said that Costas Mandalore and Cary Elwes, who plays Dr. Gordon, are not in Jigsaw. But they did say Donnie Wahlberg was not in Saw 3 or Saw 4. So don't take that as a grain of take that as a huge grain of salt. Like even Donnie Wahlberg was like, yeah, I'm done with them, and he was still in 2 more. So they've been known for lying. I believe them both though. Unfortunately, I don't. But I think Hoffman is dead. I think he is. I think that's. Because the thing is, I think his story is kind of done. I think his story was he was there to take out Jill. He hated Jill. He kind of hated John by the end of it. He took out Amanda. He just hates.
He spiraled into complete insanity, and it was so beautiful.
He really
Yeah, I think I like the ending. I mean, if he does die there, I'm fine with it because I like that. That's where the first movie started and that's where this one ends.
Yeah.
So it. Goes full circle in that, and it's like Jigsaw said, like a lot of shit has happened in that room. It's a very important, special room.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully it's in Jigsaw.
All I'm asking for,
Could be.
if it isn't, what a hype moment is if like they went to the bathroom and that chain just had nobody on it. They didn't have to say what happened to Hoffman, but if that chain was empty and no one was there, I'd be like, oh my
someone
god.
opens the door and they just get shanked. He's been in there for like 2 years. Like he's been there for literally 7 years. Yeah, his beard's just massive.
He's killing people with Adam's bones.
He's like learned how to levitate. He's like, oh, I wish, man.
But
that
like
would be so cool.
that would be the most hype moment. But if he is dead, if they go to the bathroom, which I actually do think they will, I at least want to see a dead body of him. I don't want I have a feeling Jigsaw might even have, like, it might just be a clean bathroom. Like I really feel like we're gonna get like pretty rebooted here with Jigsaw. I feel like they're gonna forget a lot of the past. I'm getting that later, but
I mean that set, they probably just left it there the whole time, and Adam's body was probably just sitting there for like 6 years while they made all these movies.
They probably did. They should.
But nowadays, it's probably not there anymore. Right?
Yeah, because they were the final chapter, right? But I think, unfortunately, unless there's some freaks like us that write some comic or fan fiction, I think that's the end of the line for Hoffman. I don't think we ever
should do that. We should write a Geek verse, like what happened to Hoffman.
We should. We should try to get him and act him out, and like just do it like he ends up in Hawaii on vacation.
I'd love to interview that guy.
And like people like burn his food, and he's like, "Fuck you, fuck you." He's just like
eating rats.
Yeah, but yeah, a shout out. I pour one out for Hoffman because I think he's dead, and man, for me, he made the last 3 movies so enjoyable. He's so good.
He's
like
really
had a big shoes to fill between John Kramer and Amanda. He carried the load.
He
carried the load. He's got a strong back.
Yeah, and a strong face and a strong neck.
Did we talk about the very first trap?
Minorly.
We did, and then we went off track.
Yeah, you guys started going off, and me and Taylor just kind of.
I wanted to go back to it this whole time.
Yeah,
That's what I've been waiting for.
We have the spirit animal of Hoffman.
You're too kind.
You guys dripped it off like, oh, I'll just wait till it comes.
You gotta
back
be
again.
like Hoffman. You gotta get in there.
You gotta get in there.
You gotta get in there.
I try, and if I don't get in, I do the same thing. I'm like, I'll just wait till it comes back
Well,
around.
the floor is your guys'.
You want to start? Because you've been really quiet.
Yeah,
They're both like, I have nothing to say.
I want to make a huge point. Like, it was a very creative trap. I like it, but I just want to point out like the detail in it, like the mannequins in behind that were wearing lumberjack toques, and the fact that Hoffman changed their clothes.
A lumberjack toque.
A lumberjack toque is like a very basic, like wool-looking hand knit toque, and they were wearing the coveralls.
I'll give that. Remember, we don't know for sure that was Hoffman's trap.
We don't, but whoever did it stripped those 2 guys down and put on those like woodland coveralls.
How do you know? How do you know? That could be their work.
It could be. They're both wearing the identical stuff.
So
and
maybe
it's
they
very
work
fitting.
together.
It's Dexter, the lumberjack. I'll help you out, John. Oh, fuck, another apprentice. God damn.
I just
Rita!
Yeah.
You're alive.
I thought it was very interesting, and just the fact that like everyone was standing there like, and they were all, when the saw started to spin, like there was like this old lady in there or on the side who just like goes like, oh no, like you just look like,
People
why
are
are you
taking videos.
Why are you people freaking out? You see these 3 guys or people in this box with saws, and you start freaking out and they start spinning. I mean, you knew it was coming. I mean, they're
Well,
just...
you could still at that point think, oh, it's just some sort of art or something, and then once they start putting this art, this is real.
Well, why don't they get out of the way of the
My
cops?
favorite thing is when they're like,
They
you
really
need to break the window, help! and she has her briefcase, and she like hits it flat against the window, like not even on a corner or
And then
anything,
she's
just like
like-
flat.
And she's like, it's not breaking.
So she just stopped. She's like,
She didn't
ah.
want to break her briefcase.
Yeah.
It's not working. Well, I guess I'll just stand
Documents.
here.
She had trap plans in there, right? She's another apprentice.
To be honest, if I
Jigsaw's
was-
other wife.
If I was one of those cops
Why?
running through the crowd and the people weren't getting away, I would have popped my gun out and started firing in the air to make people
Really?
move the fuck
Yeah,
out of the
oh,
way.
for sure, you should.
Honestly.
And then pop the
That
window.
was
Risky.
risky.
That sounds risky. There's already enough shit going on. People are freaking out.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's just standing in your way and you're trying to get through the crowd because people are like.
Billy, don't you love your new treehouse? Oh, fuck! Shot
My other
myself.
thing too is just. Like, I love the dynamic between the two guys, and just my favorite part when the girl,
You love You love it.
What's happening?
the girl,
Oh,
the,
it
gir-
was so bad.
the girl is like, I love you, Brad, and he gets hurt, and then he's like, no, I love you, and he's like, fuck you.
And then the guys decide
Brad.
to each other.
No,
We're
and
breaking
we're
up with you,
breaking up with
Tina.
you.
I
Okay,
love that.
no.
That had me. I was
This
like, this
trap-
movie's great.
This trap fucking
That was
sucks.
some of the worst writing in the
Yeah.
entire series.
Okay, no,
It
if
was
the
so
tape
bad.
says...
Some of the worst dialogue I've
Literally,
ever
the
seen.
tape says she played both of you and made you both steal for her, and they're like, she's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. Like, there was no click that, oh,
No.
she's like this cheating whore, we should work together. Also, he fucking gets cut, like, in his fucking ribcage, and somehow he's still okay to keep pushing this saw. I feel like if your
It's the
ribcage gets
power of
fucking
love.
Fight or flight?
Live or
Power
die.
of love.
Live or die.
Make your choice.
Make your choice.
Yeah, I hate that trap so much. I hate that trap
It's
so
really
much
bad.
that when it was revealed that those two big guys were from the first trap, I was like, oh fuck, so if we were gonna saw A, I'm gonna see these fuckers bouncing around with Gordon. Luckily, we were gonna get retcon, but like, it's so lame. The actors are all so bad in it.
Really bad.
It's cheesy when they have her intestines throw out the screen for the 3D
There's some
effect.
serious 3D
And,
going on.
It's-
they're not even all thought up or anything. They
No,
just get,
no,
like,
they're
flop.
per prime condition for Hannibal to come by and scoop it and cook it. Like the worst opening trap in the entire series.
He's like, I need that briefcase. Just load it up.
My wedding's coming up.
Yeah, here's a
Or
business
Faz-
card. Come to
Faz-
dinner. then.
Fassbender's wedding's
Yeah,
coming up.
shoves
I gotta
one
go
down
to
his
dinner.
throat. Well, yeah.
Ah, fresh meat. But yeah, I fucking hate that trap. Every level. I hate the people outside acting. It's just so lame. I don't like anything about
It
it.
definitely felt like the cleanest trap. I don't know why. It's just
It
like
does,
their
though.
clothes were like either brand new or freshly
Well, it was
washed.
the brightest the movies ever, any of the movies have ever
And
gotten.
it's frustrating. I
It's
think
like
this
during
is
the day.
pretty-
I don't think I've ever seen the daytime in these movies.
Yeah, no.
But the thing that I didn't like about it is that it's like obviously like John Kramer's like voice, right? And I just felt like, why does he give a fuck about this? Like, this is such
Oh.
a small thing compared to every other reason why he's ever wanted people killed.
Well-
like, this just seems like the most inconsequential, like,
Well,
bullshit.
there's
What
the
you-
Hank thing.
What anything?
The Hank thing. You
Well,
know?
no, but
You
that was still
smoke.
part Williams' game. I think he's saying like this. Is
Honestly, I
nothing
think
to
this
do
is even more, like, juvenile than fucking Hank
I-
smoking
No,
crack.
I do.
I
but
think none of the openings really have anything to do with anything, though.
technically 2 does because that's the setup for Matthews, right? Here's Matthews' informant, right?
Yeah.
When we talk about why is he killing all this informant, he's just doing his job. But like
Yeah.
the thing with
I
that,
just feel like the Jigsaw that I've gotten to know over these movies, I feel like he wouldn't give a fuck.
here's
about
a way I could try to say it for you: is if it is Hoffman or Gordon, you gotta remember the voice modulating thing. So technically, it could not be.
that. So they have the ability to have.
Well,
John
Hoffman
Kramer's
did
voice.
that already, right? Remember, he changed his voice to sound like Jigsaw's, and then they unscrambled
Well, it never really
it.
sounded like Jigsaw's though. It just sounded like a. I just thought it was
Was
always
that-
like a distorted
Yeah.
of his own.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
I never took it as he was making.
Maybe he
Jigsaw's
got better.
voice.
I thought it sounded exactly
Maybe
like
he got
Jigsaw.
better
Really?
over time.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And I feel like that. The reason I say it too is because I think in the new movies, I think they're gonna go back to that and still use Tobin Bell's voice, but they're gonna say the new Jigsaw's scrambling their voices sound
Sure.
like Tobin Bell. In Scream, they did that too. You had
That's
to- yeah.
possible. That's not what I thought had happened, but it, makes,
Yeah.
it does.
Oh,
Like,
if
with current technology, they could do that.
Yeah, if it is Jigsaw, like just Jigsaw, it makes no sense.
you could
that
probably
it is-
download that on your fucking phone in 2017. Like,
You
there's
can.
probably.
There was at one
There
point
is?
there. I don't know if it's up anymore. But there one point was a Jigsaw voice changer. Yeah, but if it is Jigsaw, makes no sense why in his final days planning out the William one makes sense. Even the book guy, okay, Hoffman, all the stuff. These two doesn't make sense at all. So
It
that's why
doesn't fit.
I try to tell myself that okay, this is Gordon's like you know.
Well, Jigsaw is kind of. Well, it seemed like he had a thing for people cheating on people.
But
right?
these are his last traps, and he's wasting time on this.
And they were just like a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
Or like 20-year-olds. Like, I don't know.
Squabbling their life, though, committing a crime is just the name of
Yeah, but let them commit the crime and go to prison. Jigsaw makes it sound like
yeah, but
he's got the
Jigsaw's the kind of person where if you go to prison and do the time, he still throws you like his
Yeah,
crap.
that's
Yeah.
true. You haven't done my time, buddy.
He's like mad that not enough people go to prison, but then the people who do, he's like, I'm gonna kill you anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And then if you're a cop who does their job, no, Riggs, Carey,
But
you're not
he
dying
thinks
your
he's
life.
in the right.
Yeah.
Great.
Do we have any big points, Brad? I have quick notes.
I have
but
a bunch of little notes.
I'm just gonna say one more time, Gibson, you're awful.
Just
Awful,
gotta
awful.
throw
You'll never
that
live
in.
it down.
I guess here's a question. So let's assume Hoffman didn't get stopped by Gordon at the end of this movie. What do you think he would have done? You think he would have kept doing traps?
That's
And do
debatable.
you think was there more Jigsaw things that he could have been fulfilling?
I took it as these were the last two for Jigsaw, and I don't know because I feel like how it started was he was blackmailed, right? So he was waiting to get out of it, but at the same time he started to like it. I think he would have been done though just to not want to go to prison. I think he would have okay, that was really close, because that's if he goes to Ontario and Jigsaw Killer's there. It's like, okay, we're gonna go to Ontario and start looking at it, right? And anyway,
It's not like that.
I feel like he maybe would have kept murdering people, but I don't think in the Jigsaw fashion, just to not go to prison.
Not go, but it's pretty obvious that he killed all those people, right?
But I mean, okay, so if
He would have pulled a Dexter, just
So you
kill
you
yeah.
mean not do any more traps just so there's no chance that you get caught? Is what you
well,
mean?
yeah, because if the traps were happening in Ontario, Canada, I guess that's where Hoffman right? Where if he's just killing a hobo on the street, it's that could be anybody. That's what I mean by he'd stop being Jigsaw to try to get the scent off of him so he wouldn't go to prison.
And it's like the Dexter thing, a cop knows, so I'll just fucking stab him and keep going.
Imagine
Like
he went on and become a lumberjack, and they're just, man, I'd love to see that season of Dexter. Dexter just looks aside hey, let me help you with that, and it's Hoffman helping with a log. And you're
Season 4 of Hannibal,
oh my
he
God.
starts off as a lumberjack. He's
Yeah.
like, hey guys.
no, he's their chef.
Oh
He's
my
the
God.
chef, yeah, and Will's the lumberjack.
And Hoffman started eating people. He's like,
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
And then
man.
there's
I
a-
should have done this my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a big orgy scene between them all.
Oh yes!
What?
Let's do it.
That actually did not play. I thought it was gonna go quiet, but I got some support.
You
Totally.
said that it was
I'd love to see
not
that.
Hoffman's trap at
Uh-huh.
the end, for
For Bobby?
Bobby.
Well,
yeah.
I said I don't know because I just find that
Well,
so unbelievable
at
that
what-
he survived the bear trap and he's still I get Bobby though.
At what point, because Jigsaw was dead at this point, so how could he have made tapes already for someone he knew would fake? Specifically, Bobby, he knew Bobby would
Because
fake.
Bobby happened a
Yeah.
long time ago.
That's how he
Yeah.
got
Remember
his signature.
because Jigsaw and him meet, right?
Yeah, in the book
Oh.
signing.
Remember when he has the fucking backwards hat and he's the Steve Buscemi
hey
hey kids
To draw
And he's
with
telling
an age,
them-
without an age, doesn't matter.
Was he telling them? Was it about the story about Egyptians or something like that? That if they lie on
Yeah.
if they swear an oath from the Bible, they're taken out the streets and beat whatever it is, death by jury or whatever it is. So yeah, they did meet. So
Oh, yeah, I
literally,
remember.
he met all these people in probably a year, and then the rest of his life he just spent making tapes and
making
making
blueprints.
See, but
Yeah.
wouldn't he not? He did not look like he had cancer or anything at that point.
No, he
was
was big chillin'.
Big show.
So
Well, no, but he's still in hair and saw too, though. So this could be him pre-chemo, I guess. This is him, I guess, after the car accident, though.
This is after the car accident, before Saw 1, I think, is when they met.
Yeah,
Sure.
because after, yeah.
Because already by the time Saw 2 rolls around, he's decrepit and can't really move a whole lot.
Yeah, so I would say this would be before chemo, maybe.
yeah, because they say that all these people have already gone through these traps. Though they make it sound like it's not just one or two, because they sit there, they're in the bar, and there's a chick being interviewed that she survived
Right.
the Jigsaw trap.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a pothole
Continuity error.
of a survivor we never met. Again, more survivors that are
Even though we should have.
Can we talk about, we didn't talk about, what the fuck was that trap of that one survivor of the two people hanging, and there's just a bunch of saws below them, and it's a fan.
And she's gotta beat the person to make him fall down.
What a lame
Fight?
trap!
Yeah, I forgot that
And how
happened.
did they get them up there? Where is this location where it's just the floor is literally just saws?
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
honestly, that's where this movie goes off the fucking rails. The engineering of like all the traps just goes off the deep end in this movie, and it no longer makes like realistic sense. Like even in the other movies, there's some crazy traps, but it's like, okay, like it's doable. But this movie is where like, no.
Well,
you
my favorite
lost me.
thing too is like she's there because he beat her and she never left. So it's like her punishment for not leaving an abuser is to fall into these razor blade fans. Like,
Well, Jessica, she's not valuing her life, so that's Jigsaw.
Well, it's similar
They
to
thought
like
she was a smoker as
it's
well.
similar
She
to
was
the
also
one-
a smoker.
That's why. Hoffman's like, oh, you put her in there because she was beaten? Nah, but really, it's because she's a smoker.
I saw you smoke a cigarette once. You deserve to die.
All right, John, fuck yourself. I'm gonna go get Timothy and roll him around.
Kind of reminds me of the trap where the guy and the girl were back to back, and she had to like pull the
Yeah.
spikes out though.
Yeah, for like
So-
suffering for her husband. Even though that, I guess, but it's the same Jigsaw case because technically he's abusing children and she's not saying anything, and technically it is about herself, but she's getting the punishment already. So it's just John being John, you know.
Just John breaking the rules.
And we didn't talk about
When you
all.
make the rules, you can break them.
Exactly. We didn't talk about the Chester Bennington trap either with the car trap.
Yeah.
I think that one is really gross, actually. Like, most traps don't gross me out. It's to a point, and then eventually the skin looks a little too plastically, and you're like, okay. But I think it's pretty gross that he just has to rip the skin off. I always laugh when he drives, and that guy that's standing there, and his mouth and his arms just get ripped off, and it's such a dummy, and just like, and then the girl gets.
No, the best one is when Chester Bennington actually gets like thrown out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
He goes through one car window into another car.
And the car explodes too when he lands.
And the
Right.
back
Yeah.
with all the skin ripped off looks so fake. It's so terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's so weird, and like those other three people.
It's a confusing trap.
It's
Hey, wait a
stupid.
second.
It's another thing too, where like, okay, Chester's character, he has like all the power. I don't even know what he's doing anyway.
What does the guy in the back have a chance for?
Oh, he has fucking nothing. There's nothing. He can,
Well, what does
How
the
is
and
chick
then because you don't know what
do?
these characters are, it's like I don't know why they deserve to die. But
Oh, yeah, I
okay.
forgot about the chick underneath too. That just
There's
gets
3 other people that just die for no reason. No reason
Well,
whatsoever.
then you remember why
And they
they're
die in
there.
vicious ways.
You remember why they're there? Because they're racists.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So literally,
yes.
John just takes any trope. Like they just found smoking, anything they didn't do. They're like, "What have we not done?" They're like, "Well,
Oh,
it's Saw
racist.
7.
Let's do it.
It's Saw 7's the last one.
Bigotry.
We may as well tackle racists." Like,
Well,
oh
no,
my.
no, that's the reason he has all the powers because he's like the leader of their
Yeah.
racist cult.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, he has to be the one to save all the racists.
Like, I don't feel bad for
Sure,
that.
it's great. You're right. I love it. Great storytelling. Well done.
Glad I was
well
able to
done,
clear
Saw
that
7.
up.
But you know what? That guy in the back, he does get a bigger purpose because remember he gets to wear the Jigsaw robes. That's a pretty good life he gets to go out. Remember, that's the guy who gets
yeah.
ripped. He's the guy Hoffman puts in there, and then when they pull him, then he's just dead and his mouth's gone.
His mouth's definitely gone.
Yeah.
His mouth is quite gone. Yeah.
Fuck this movie. I have a
Did we
nowhere.
forget about any other traps? I feel like we keep forgetting about all of them. There's so many in this movie.
I missed like the last half, so if there's anything in that, you guys are gonna have to.
I do.
We
Always
almost
get-
forgot the teeth one.
Well, you guys mentioned that. I was gonna say the teeth one. I think it's very cool how you actually get like a little tutorial video and he's got a chart on the wall. Like he was so in
He's
depth.
sick.
And you know what else he had? He had another ventriloquist dummy though, but it was like the dentist ones that had the fake teeth. And
That
it's
was
like,
in the video,
Yeah,
though, yeah.
and he's like, all you gotta do is remove this, and he's literally the guy's just like, click. He's like taking the teeth off the mannequin again. It's like more mannequin violence. It has to stop. I don't want that in Jigsaw. Another Billy the Puppet moment of Billy the Puppet talking. At one point, Bobby's like going through a room and there's a glass window, and Billy comes bursting through the glass. He's like, "In this game, you have to." It's just like, what the fuck? Like they went for like a jump scare that didn't work. So
Yeah.
again, Billy the Puppet. They're like, it worked in Saw 6. So
We forgot to talk about the cage that opens the bottom where there's spikes on the ground.
which cage?
In the very beginning, he like wakes up and it like pulls him up, and he has to like reach up and pull the lever, and the floor drops, and so he like swings
yeah.
it to jump off.
Bob. Oh my god, yeah, that's why. What if he just slipped and fell in there, and then it's like, man, we did all this work for nothing. Like, especially Hoffman. Like, I feel like they should just like, no, we don't need that. Like, I don't know. Just another. This movie, I feel like all these traps because it's the last one. We gotta go all out. But it's like it really hurt
All
the
out.
movie. It really did.
Yeah, that one was. Honestly, it wasn't like that bad. I don't know, like he.
But it wasn't needed. To
It wasn't
be there.
interesting
No.
either.
The cyanide box where the the chemical reaction created gas that killed all the SWAT people.
Oh yeah,
Apparently that was considered a trap.
sure.
And
I'll
that's...
give it to them.
I'll give it to them.
That's
They're hitting
all of
triple
them.
digits.
That
No.
SWAT guy, you know, he really kind of irked me a little bit. You know, like when
That SWAT guy.
the agent was like, "I'm going to get Hoffman," and the SWAT guy's
Oh.
like, "Where are you going, sir?" And then he's moving. He's like, "This is clear." Like, he's just he was really bad. And his face was like I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's funny too, because they were like searching that house, that place, and then they go into the room where like his best friend was having to go over those planks,
Mhm.
and then they're just like, oh, no one's in this room, and then they just walk the other
Yeah.
way. It's like, no, you guys, like, seriously, you're not gonna investigate this room that's clearly a trap, and there's like a door right fucking there.
And the way Gibson's just like, I'm gonna get Hoffman, and he just like leaves like, fuck off, buddy. Like, you don't know. Like, he just like gallops out of there.
He definitely gallops.
When you could hear Bobby yelling, like one SWAT guy's like, "We got a live one," or something like that. It's so bad.
We have an update on that trap with the abusive couple where they're hanging. They're not saws. Jessica, what were below them?
They're lawnmowers. There's lawnmowers.
So
all
that means
over.
Hoffman ass had to go around and start in every fucking lawnmower. I'm sure there's not a button. Like, how does that even work? They're
What
upside
kind?
down, too. There's many lawnmowers that I've worked with that will not work if they turn. So, like, he had to specifically go get hundreds of this specific lawnmower. What the fuck? I never knew that. I thought they were just saws.
Yeah, that's
It's literally called the lawnmower trap.
That's
lawnmower
super
trap.
lame.
honestly, there's more lame traps in these movies
Did
than
we
there is good
end
ones.
up
But
talking about Jill's whole spike thing? Do we
What Spike? What's
like
the-
her like she's literally just pinned there?
Oh,
and it
no,
goes
I like-
I mean, I love it.
Yeah,
It's-
I put in my
it's
notes, I
fucking
feel like
amazing.
Hoffman is our spirit animal in this movie. Like, the amount of times he's after Jill and trying to kill her.
He does it twice.
That's where people probably does feel fan service-y, and I'm fine with that because people all hated Jill, and they're like, we're just going to have Hoffman, like, kill her a couple times.
A couple of times.
Yeah, my favorite thing I mentioned earlier, but is when the spike hits her, and then the body's still chained up, and it hits the ground, and it, like, breaks again, and then it's just, like, over. And
It explodes.
it is. Yeah.
I call it. What did I named that the Jill Ripper.
The Jill Ripper.
As opposed to
I
looking at what it was
like
called.
it.
The Jill
I
Ripper.
like it.
And then I should have wrote down what Hoffman actually said. I think he just said something clever as usual. He just said, "You knew this were coming," or something like that. And like, oh yeah, Hoffman, you let her know.
Something clever as usual.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I have a note here that the 3D effects were really bad.
They are so
We've already kind of talked about
So
it.
many times we get the shot of like the spike, like all those like bar traps of just like what they would see. It's like without 3D, it just looks like really lame
Yeah.
shots. It's
Very
like, oh
lame.
cool, shots of 3 bars in my face.
I wanted to give a shout out to John Kramer because like, how do you recruit this many people to do like these fucking completely insane things? Like the way he can mess with people's minds is something else. And yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes story wise, but I don't know. I just wanted to give him a shout out, you know.
Well, really, you got Amanda, you got Hoffman, you got Gordon, you got
There's
Jill,
at least 100
and you
more.
can count Zepp and Obby. Yeah, Obby's brother Bobby.
Obvious brother Bobby.
Bobby with an eye.
Dagen,
No, Bobby with
Dagen.
an eye.
No, they're not related.
No,
They
no,
look
no.
so
They're
similar.
cousins though.
Cecil's probably in on it, you know.
Cecil never came back.
It's
Yeah.
And then my last note is, and this isn't really to do with the movie, but in the credits, there's someone credited as the crane operator, and his name is Dwight Crane. I thought it was fantastic.
Do we think that's a real person?
Yeah, I think so. And the question becomes like, did he change his name? Did he marry someone with the last name Crane, or was he born a Craneman? You know, it's a lot of questions. A lot of questions.
I think it was
as many questions as Gordon.
He was Destiny.
He was
Yeah.
Destiny.
That'd be like Doctor. Gordon changed his name to Doctor.
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 Or wait, yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no notes.
I've already talked about my notes.
Field.
Bad 3D scenes. I like
Okay.
Gordon. The Keith Run part was hilarious. The breaking up with you Dina line was great. The intro was hilarious.
No.
Wrong. Saw 7 fishhook trap, you know, and then the serious dental work plus chart, etc. That's all I got.
What about all this stuff down here?
Oh, this is for our little special afterwards.
You don't gotta hit the table.
No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's not much spoiler, so I'll go first. He's my least favorite. I'm gonna give it 2 saws being thrown at the screen out of 10. Only because there's 2 things I like about this movie.
Yeah.
Say 2 lawnmowers, maybe.
No. 2 Gordon. I don't
think so. Throwing them at the screen. The thing that I hate is he throws it, and like him and Hoffman are just like in suspended animation, and they're just standing there for the longest time,
big chilling.
watching the saw go. Like so
It's weird.
some of the Gordon stuff, I was happy to see him. I said still some problems. Hoffman is great, but this movie really has. I YouTube these scenes legitimately. This movie has nothing else to offer. The traps are bad. The new characters are bad. The acting's bad. The effects are bad. Even like I said, I was even disappointed in the final bear trap. Even though I got to see Joe get killed, even just the effects and how pink blood. It doesn't matter if it's in one point of the movie. You're Saw. You're one of the biggest horror franchises of all time, and you got pink blood in your movie. 2 out of 10. Like I said, I do think this is one of the worst, maybe not horror movies ever, because there's probably a lot of crap out there. But horror sequels in like a popular franchise. Yeah, very sad.
Wanted to just ask you, because you would be the one who know. How are all of the names of these traps made up? Like the spine cutter, the mausoleum.
Well, the mausoleum, it took place in a mausoleum, right?
Yeah, but was it like, did the Saw forms come up with it? Or
Lots of them sometimes, but lots of them were all the special features. All of them would be like, we call this the blah blah, we call this the yeah. So most of them are the special features. I'd say probably 80%. There's probably the odd.
And it's not like they're like clever names or anything. Like they're
the
pretty...
mausoleum, the lawnmower trap,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So,
Jessica,
final thoughts.
Overall for this one,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you watched it this far, you should finish this movie because it's the end. You've already watched 6 of them. Yeah, I mean, it's more entertainment than like satisfaction.
Watch with some friends.
Yeah, you know,
Yes.
have a drink every time you get pissed off or laugh.
Or pink blood.
Don't have a drink
blood.
every time someone dies. You would die.
No.
Or
anytime-
and then your friends would all have to drink.
Oh yikes!
Or anytime Bobby says, "And I just screamed."
And I just screamed. That's 4 drinks if they're. But they're all right after each other, so it's a little intense.
Yeah, that's
it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what a wild ride this has been. Let's just put that out there. You know, I have to say it was not the worst Saw movie out of all of them for me.
Well, don't ask him because we're about to rank him in a second. So we'll.
Yeah, I'm still.
I bet I know which one it is.
I'm thinking in my head, like ranking them, but I know it's definitely not the worst one.
Notoriously against the critics, you know.
Against
Lowest
the
rated on
critics.
Rotten Tomato. Lowest rated by the fans as well. The fans fucking hate this movie.
Really?
Oh yeah, everyone's just like, I love the entire series except for.
Yeah.
Or as it's notoriously called, Saw 3D.
Oh, it seems fun. It's always funny how the last one in a series kind of has that kind of
I think you're wrong.
thing attached to it, or at least like, well, not
Return of the
hated,
Jedi,
but, yeah, but
great.
people, it's the least liked out
Return
of
of
the
the-
series or out of the trilogy, right?
Return of the King? I wouldn't say that.
Well, Return of the, yeah, okay. Let me take that
Born
back.
Ultimatum. The Dark Knight Rises.
Anyway, what are you gonna give this movie?
I'm gonna give it probably a good. I'm gonna go like a 6.5.
6.5. Wow.
I'm trying to think of something clever.
I hear that.
I feel like a 6.5 is pretty good, but I almost want to say like a 6.6.
Wow.
What is it? Oh my god.
It's just that, you know, the one thing that just got to me, and you guys already touched on it, so I didn't say anything else about it, but just the fishhook trap when she started screaming before anything happened. So.
I just want to throw out
So
really
that made
quickly.
it go from a 5.5 to a 5.6?
No, it's
So-
6.5.
6.5.
I wish it was a
6.6.
5.5.
I want to just throw out there that the trap that kills Jill in her dream is called the pain train.
No. Okay, that's actually better. That's better.
I like
The
it.
Jill Rip and Pain Train. Yeah.
I like in my mind that Hoffman built that he's like, this is the pain train.
Welcome to Pain Train, Jill.
Fuck Hoffman.
Die.
He's so fucking good. Whenever we do a Geek Versus, we're putting him in here, and Kirkland's having a call like, who the fuck is Hoffman? He's just a guy? Yeah, but he's a really badass
Someone's
guy.
Pain Trains.
He could definitely beat Thor in a fight.
Oh, easily.
Easily. He could lift up that hammer.
Yeah.
Dilmas, this is your first time watching this film. What do you think?
First time, probably my last time as well. You know, I might
I think we
I might watch the Hoffman scenes on YouTube because I already did today. But
I think one time in the future this would be a fun watch along to do with fans. So I will throw that out there. If we watch
honestly, that's the thing. Like there is a lot of moments that are ridiculous, over the top, and it's like comedic, like it's bad, funny. You know, it hits that point. So that it at least has that going for it. But yeah, for the most part, like there's not really many things saving this movie. In terms of it actually being like a good story with solid characters, it doesn't do that very well. Hoffman is fucking fantastic.
So good.
And you know, I obviously that we have a lot of problems with the Gordon stuff because it asks a lot of questions and answers none of them. But I like that I like at least that it gives us some discussion points, and it offers us, like we talked about that for a long time. So I like that aspect of it at least. It is kind of disappointing that this is the end. I mean, it's not really the end.
It's the end of this story, right? This
I don't know.
saga.
Might be. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about
Who knows
it.
what Jigsaw will do, right? But
Gibson's
like
back.
overall, I enjoyed watching these movies, and I'm glad I did. Even this movie, I had fun watching it. It's not like it was a 3-hour long movie that was
No,
boring the whole time. Like, yeah, the pacing's bad, but at least I was watching it the whole time and paying attention and not having to zone out. So, yeah, this movie's kind of shitty, but it was sort of fun at the same time.
See, hopefully, like the fans, we're converting one by one. You know, Dylan, you're a fan of these now. You know,
Yeah.
It's, we tell people they're not just
They're
torture
interesting. They're definitely different.
Except
It's a
don't
very-
watch this one first.
Please don't.
No. Start from the beginning.